The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Haitian smuggling probe expands. Another Bahamian man arrested. The Prime Minister says he's part of the CARICOM group that will try to solve Haiti's gang problem. And a man accidentally shot dead by a co-conspirator in a murder attempt. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Baha. It is Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be getting an update on how things are going with Tropical Gyros and their crowdfunding through Arawak X. Deadline is fast approaching for you to invest in the company. We'll get the latest on where things stand at this point from them. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. The overnight, a third Bahamian man arrested in connection with an alleged human smuggling operation that resulted in the deaths of at least 17 Haitian migrants early Sunday morning. According to police, the man was apprehended at a home in central New Providence shortly after 9 p.m. on Sunday. A 39-year-old Bahamian man and a 48-year-old Bahamian man were arrested after they were rescued with 23 other people after the vessel they were traveling on capsized off New Providence shortly after 1 a.m. Sunday. Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe said authorities intend to examine the full extent of the operation. And Monroe saying, quote, "In my mind, something like that doesn't just pop up and happen, so we may be contending with international criminal organizations." Monroe also saying there'll be investigations to discover how the operation was put together and whether it is localized and involving people from other countries. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force says the vessel departed from the Sand Trap area, which is located west of Arawak Key, before it overturned about 4 to 5 nautical miles from the entrance Nassau Harbor. According to the Defense Force, it's believed that 45 people were on board and headed to Freeport or Florida on the 33-foot twin-engine vessel named Bear Ambitions. At least 3 people believed to still be missing, and no additional bodies were found yesterday, according to authorities. The tragedy on Sunday, the worst loss of life in Bahamian waters since 28 Haitian migrants died when their boat capsized near Abaco in February 2019. Meanwhile, as Haitians continue to flee their country due to deadly gang violence and other issues, Prime Minister Philip David says CARICOM will engage with gang leaders on the ground to find a solution to the problem. Davis saying on Sunday, quote, "The situation in Haiti is very serious and we don't know what the outcome will be. There are talks about imposing the will of other countries on the people, but again, we want it to be a Haitian solution. Whether that is possible, we will only know as we engage with the gang leaders in Haiti, which we intend to do." In other news, a man was accidentally shot and killed by his co-conspirator as they attempted to kill another man in Pinewood Gardens. This happened yesterday. Chief Superintendent of Police Chrislyn Skippings saying an orange Nissan March with 3 men pulled up in front of a home on Ficus Street, off Pigeon Plum Street. This was around 1 p.m. 2 men with handguns got out of the car and apparently intended to harm a man living in that home. After getting out of the car, they started shooting at the man. The shooters also riddled the home with bullets. At that time, while they were shooting at the house, they accidentally shot one of the men who came with them. The intended target successfully evaded the men, according to police, and he was later taken into custody along with 2 other men. She says the vehicle was also recovered. A 49-year-old man who said he has 17 children said the man who got away is his 24-year-old son. The man who did not wish to give his name said he spoke out because things could have gone a different way. And a Supreme Court jury convicting a 52-year-old man of molesting his stepdaughter. The man, whose name has been withheld to protect the victim's identity, was remanded into custody until September 5th for the sentencing phase of his trial before Justice Renee McKay. He was arrested on his job at a popular restaurant in March 2020 after his stepdaughter accused him of abusing her for when she was 9 years old. The man married his victim's mother in August 2017 and allegedly began molesting her in April 2018. The abuse ended in February 2020. The girl, who's now 14, testified that the man took her virginity April 11th in the bed that he shared with her mother. She said the man forced her into the marital bedroom, locked the door, and dragged her onto the bed where he raped her. You can read more about the story in today's Nassau Guardian. Overseas, Russia targeting Ukraine's Black Sea regions of Odessa and Mykolaiv with airstrikes today hitting private buildings and port infrastructure along the country's southern coast. The Kremlin's forces used air-launched missiles in the attack, according to Ukraine's Operational Command South in a Facebook post. In the Odessa region, a number of private buildings and villages on the coast were hit and caught fire. In other regions, port infrastructure was targeted. Hours after the renewed strikes on the south, the Moscow installed official in the southern Kherson region said the Odessa and other regions will soon be liberated by Russian forces, just like the Kherson region further east. The developments coming as Ukraine appeared to be preparing a counteroffensive in the south. Russia previously attacked Odessa's port over the weekend. The British military said Tuesday there was no indication that a Ukrainian warship and a stockpile of anti-slip missiles were at the site, as Moscow claimed. And more with Russia. American basketball star Brittney Griner returned to a Russian courtroom today for her drawn-out trial on drug charges that could bring her 10 years in prison if convicted. The trial of the 2-time Olympic gold medalist and Phoenix Mercury standout began July 1st, but only 4 sessions have been held, some of them lasting only a few hours. In one of them, she acknowledged that she was carrying vape canisters containing cannabis oil when she was arrested at a Moscow airport in mid-February, but said she had no criminal intent. The slow-moving trial and her 5 months of detention have raised strong criticism among teammates and supporters in the United States, which has formally declared her to be wrongfully detained, a designation sharply rejected by Russian officials. Griner was arrested amid high U.S. Moscow tensions ahead of Russia sending troops into Ukraine later that month. Some supporters contend she's being held in Russia as a pawn, possibly for a prisoner swap. American soccer notable Megan Rapinoe saying last week that she's being held as a political prisoner. However, even after the conflict broke out, Washington and Moscow brokered a prisoner trade in April when American Trevor Reed, imprisoned on a conviction of assaulting a police officer, was released in exchange for a Russian convicted in the U.S. of drug smuggling. In sports, young Dakarai Turnquest from Devonski, Long Island, continues to make a name for himself, not just here in the Bahamas, wide. In pool, Turnquest went up against the world's best juniors in the game of pool over the weekend and finished fourth overall at the 32nd Annual Valley National 8-Ball Association World Junior Championships. This was in Erie, Pennsylvania. Over 300 young players from all over the world competed in 3 age divisions for the right to be crowned junior world champions in their respective brackets. In singles, Turnquest finished with an 8-2 win-loss record in the double elimination tournament, falling in the bronze medal game in the 12 to 15 age bracket. With 61 athletes in that division, the talented young pool master, who continues to put the Bahamas on the map, said he was pleased with the results and is looking forward to continued success again. Fourth in the world. And the Bahamas' senior women's national tennis team drawn into Pool A of the Billie Jean King Cup America's Group 2 tournament in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, and they're already off start in tennis, the team took on El Salvador yesterday and came out on top 3-0. The team is vying to be promoted to the Americas Group 1 for 2023, and to do so, they'll have to finish in the top 2 in the week-long tournament. The Bahamas is in the same pool as host country Dominican Republic, El Salvador, and Bermuda. In their opening match in pool play, Sydney Clark and Alana Mackey won in singles, and the team of Clark and player captain Simone Pratt came out on top in doubles. Read more in today's Guardian Sports section. For Major League Baseball, the goal of an international amateur draft was thwarted again when the Players Association rejected management's final offer and retained direct draft pick compensation for free agents. The quirky tie between the two provisions was established in the March 10th agreement that ended the 99-day lockout and preserved a 162-game season. They gave themselves until July 25th to reach an agreement on an international draft, which MLB has sought since 2002, and specified the draft pick provision would be dropped in the event of a deal. There was little movement over the 4 months. The union made an offer during a Zoom meeting Saturday, and MLB presented what it termed its final proposal in an email on Sunday. Union officials forwarded that plan to the Players' Executive Board and said they planned to reject it. Hearing no opposition, Union Deputy Executive Director Bruce Meyer telephoned Deputy Commissioner Dan Halem for the rejection yesterday afternoon. That decision, announced about 8 hours before the deadline, was the final step needed to complete the collective bargaining agreement that expires on December 1st. That it's already expired, December 1st, 2016. Retaining compensation is likely to limit the market for some older players set to become free agents. The group set to include Anthony Rizzo, J.D. Martinez, Chris Sale, and Charlie Morton. And the NFL is making its move into offering its own media streaming platform. The league announcing that NFL Plus launched on Monday. Owners were briefed about it during the league's meetings in May. Commissioner Roger Goodell saying in a phone interview with the Associated Press that the direct-to-consumer offering gives the league the ability to understand what fans and non-fans are seeking in terms of content and customize it for them. The launch of NFL Plus comes as 15 games on Thursday night will be carried exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. The Sunday ticket package of out-of-market Sunday games currently will expire at the end of this season. Amazon, Apple, and Google have emerged as the frontrunners to take over the rights that DirecTV has held since 1994. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. And your first look at weather for today. We've got a surface trough interacting with a trough in the upper levels, and that's creating unsettled weather across the country, while high pressure supporting moderate to strong winds and moderate to rough seas across the islands. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along southeasterly beaches, and everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and avoid direct sun exposure during afternoons. Boaters should be alert as waterspout activity is possible as well. For all areas today, we're looking at variably cloudy, hot, and windy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, becoming partly cloudy, warm, and windy with isolated showers and thunderstorms tonight. Smallcraft caution in the northwest Bahamas becomes a smallcraft advisory in the central and southeastern islands. Wind southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots in the northwestern islands, but increasing 20 to 25 knots in the central and southeastern Bahamas. Seas 4 to 7 feet in the northwestern Bahamas, but building to 5 to 8 feet in the central islands and the southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise right now, about 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, rain in some parts of New Providence. We're looking at highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Chef, that's you?
Hey, Kay, how you doing?
Man, I good. I hear you expanding. That's true?
Yeah, so now you can eat at and own a slice of the gyro.
I like that. What I need to get started?
Go to awakx.com, pick tropical gyros, and click invest. It's that easy.
Is it expensive?
No, man, you can invest for just $9 a share with a minimum of 4 shares.
That's it? Man, I going online now. Go to awakx.com today to invest in tropical gyro. For more info, call 603-5270 or email invest@awakx.com.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wise Guy Entertainment and the Beam Agency, in association with Tropical Gyros, presents the 15th annual Laugh Fest. Laugh now, cry later. Live at Fusion Superplex. Starring your headliner, fresh off tour with D.L. Hughley and backed by popular demand, Bodacious. Get ready for your feature comedian, Cisco Duran.
I'll tell you right now, that's what fat people do, okay? Fat people look at other fat people and we judge each other, all right? I saw the way you looked at me when I got on stage. Like, you looked at me, it was like, oh my God. Hey, baby, I'm not that fat, right? Jesus Christ.
And get ready for some of the 242's funniest comedians, Das Quay, BJ, and Shad Fur. All hosted by the Bahamian King of Comedy, Naughty. 2 big shows. Friday, July 29th and Saturday, July 30th at Fusion Superplex. General admission, $40. Limited VIP, $60. Tickets go on sale Monday, July 18th at Fusion Superplex. Laugh Fest 2022, brought to you by the Platinum sponsors, Fine Threads, John Shoes, and KFC Nassau.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning, we got a whole lot more for you. We've got more traffic and weather coming up. And in our 9 o'clock Morning Blend business hour, we're going to be getting an update from Tropical Gyros. They are in the middle of a crowdfunding initiative with Arawak X. We'll get an update on how that is going from them this morning. That's coming up. But let's talk about what else is in the news. The Haitian smuggling probe expands. A third man, another Bahamian man, has been arrested in connection with this tragic incident that resulted in the deaths of at least 17 people. Still, some are missing. And we're getting the very latest on this now, and some tough talk from the National Security Minister, Wayne Monroe. For more on what's happening, take a listen to this report from our partners at Our News and Italia Hall.
The National Security Minister promising those responsible for the crime will be charged with human smuggling offenses.
We also have to consider a homicide charge for them, because it's one thing to smuggle people and smuggle people safely or unsafely. And so, for instance, I can take a 40-foot boat and smuggle 2 people to the U.S., and that's illegal, that's human smuggling. Or you could have an event like this, an overcrowded boat, no flotation devices. That is actually dangerous. And so the first example of the human trafficker is bad, but it's not as bad as somebody who traffics people and traffics them in an unsafe manner.
Minister Munro's comments came as a third Bahamian man was arrested in connection with the alleged human smuggling incident. According to the Criminal Investigation Department, the man was arrested at a residence in central New Providence shortly after 9 p.m. on Sunday without incident. Munro says investigations are underway to find out the full extent of the operation.
Is it localized? Does it involve persons in the U.S.? Does it involve persons in Haiti? Is it a transnational gang? Officials will address that as expeditiously as they can.
Deputy Commander of the Defense Force, Shondell Pinder, confirming the search continues and there are 8 to 18 people missing.
Defense Force assets, surface assets will be out, ensuring that searches occur at the shoreline areas and in the area where the vessel capsized. In addition to that, we will be utilizing our drones.
Reporting for our news, I'm Natalia Hall.
Okay. Yeah, so we learned a little more from the Defense Force about this boat called Bear Ambitions. A 33-foot twin-engine vessel. And some adjustments in the numbers that might have been on board. They're believing that 45 people, earlier we'd heard as many as 60 to 70 people, but the thinking was about 45 people were on the boat. And they took off from the Sand Trap area out there off Nassau Harbor. All right, so let's get your reaction to this. More Bahamians being arrested in this. I think, let's see, the people who are arrested so far. A 39-year-old Bahamian man and a 48-year-old Bahamian man were arrested after they were rescued on the vessel or in the water. That was on Sunday. And now a third man. What do you make of it, folks? What do we do here? We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Some of you disturbed many of us with your comments yesterday, seeking to put most of the blame on the people, the victims here, as opposed to the Bahamians who are facilitating this, strangely. Okay. But let's get your comments today on what we're hearing, the talk from the National Security Minister, and the fact that more people, as Wayne Monroe is saying, this just doesn't pop up. Clearly, more people knew about this. How deep does this run? Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so let's hear from you on that. While that's going on, we heard more from the Prime Minister on Sunday at that emergency press conference they had, that the leaders in the region want to do more to help Haiti solve their gang problem, the gang violence there since the assassination of the president. Many are saying that's responsible for this exodus that we're seeing at this moment. So the Prime Minister says that leaders in the region will engage with the on the ground to find solution to the turmoil. Davis said on Sunday, quote, "The situation in Haiti is very serious, and we don't know what the outcome will be. There are talks about imposing the will of other countries on the people, but again, we want it to be a Haitian solution. Whether that is possible, we will only know as we engage with the gang leaders in Haiti, which we intend to do very shortly." Now, as you know, Haiti's been embroiled in political and economic freefall since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse last July. In some parts of the country, gang violence has taken hold. The Associated Press reported that attempts to form a coalition government in Haiti have failed and that efforts to hold an election have not been successful. There are reported acts of barbaric violence across the country. Hundreds of Haitians sheltered in a school in Port-au-Prince after gang violence caused dozens of deaths in a local neighborhood. Davis, who spoke on the recent suspected human smuggling operation off New Providence on Sunday, this was the emergency press conference, he says that conditions are deteriorating in the country. He said, quote, "As for the turmoil in Haiti, CARICOM has appointed myself," this is Davis saying this now, as Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, And I think the Prime Minister of Barbados has a committee to look into how we could resolve the issues in Haiti. We just had a resolution. The UN resolution was finally passed about a week ago so that we can continue the presence of the UN peacekeepers on the ground. The question is whether there will be any intervention. Our position as CARICOM has always been that the solution has to be a Haitian solution rather than an imposed solution. That continues to be our position. We are to engage very soon in attempting to bring the factions together. At the moment, it's just gang wars. It is, if we speak, efforts to bring the warring parties, and I say the gang leaders together, are in train as we speak, as I speak. Wow. So, according to the story in the Nassau Guardian today by our Travis Cartwright Carroll, the U.S. Coast Guard has reported that it caught more Haitian migrants than it did in all of last year. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Commodore Dr. Raymond King said that the force has noticed that Haitian migrants are now heading directly to Florida instead of the Bahamas. He said migrants are moving along the Old Bahama Channel, which separates the northern coast of Cuba and the southern coast of the Great Bahama Bank. All right. So, again, let's get your reaction to it, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What do you make of the Prime Minister being a part of this committee? And what can we do? A country that also has challenges, but not anywhere near the extent that Haiti does, of course. But we seem to be having some issues here ourselves. What do we do? What do we do? Let's talk about it. 422-4796, that's a text line, and see if we get any of the text messages coming in, and continue to call us. And again, we want to know, what do you make of this? This is like the same situation with the guns and all the other problems we have here. People know what's going on. People know that you've got a boat and you going out 1 o'clock in the morning. Are you fishing? Really? What are you doing? What are you really up to? And but people are like, well, the money is good. Is that what's happening here? Is that what's going on? What should be the course of action here? Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right, I think we let's get this call in, and we'll get to your text messages in just a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Yeah, this is Gamal Neri.
Hi. Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, man. Yeah, Dwight. I think you just touched on it, and certainly condolences. It's always a tragedy when people lose their lives in such a horrific fashion. And, our hearts prayers go to the family. But again, in the same token, these are not covert operations in the sense that family members, friends are not aware of these networks and are part of this process. And I think we have to really look at individuals who are aware and hold them as responsible as the persons who, or to some level of responsibility, as the persons who are actually doing the actual operation. But these types of things are not secret in the community. And the communities are aware of it. They're aware of who to go to, what amount needs to be paid when the ship or the transit are leaving port, so to speak. And so we have to really, as a community, take a lot of responsibility and do the right thing. People are being facilitated into the country illegally, and people are being aided in leaving the country and going into another country illegally. And when these things happen, we're all up in arms as if this is something that we're not aware of. But it's something that's in the society and it's been going on. I understand that the alleged point of departure was sand trap. Again,
Near sand trap, yeah.
This point has been this location has been known to either to be a point of departure for this type of operation. This is not a new location, the sand trap. So again, we have to really do something about, take as a community, understand what we are exposing our family and friends to for, the expectation of freedom or a better life, but the risk involved with these types of things.
Yeah. As you said, that location's been known for this and many other things, and yet here we are still talking about it all these years later. So what do you think? What should you do if you are a family member and you know this is going on? Make an appeal directly to your family member to stop, or turn them in? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think, and I know I'm saying it's easier said than done, but certainly an appeal to those persons to go about getting, if you want to come into the Bahamas in the first instance, coming into the Bahamas, go about it the right way. If you can find $3,000, $5,000 US, I mean that should be able to get you in country, or at least start the proper process for you to do what needs to be done. And then again, if you are trying to get into the U.S. or any other country, go about it the right way. I know that there are hard economic times, but again, I'm able to raise $3,000 US or whatever the amount is to get into this country. Then, clearly I can use that to begin the right process, the correct way of getting entry. So certainly, family member, friends, and we need to understand what's happening and how it's impacting the whole. Now we have Defense Force and other law enforcement resources deployed in a search and rescue effort. When there are other things that could be addressed. Excuse me, but we have this accident that occurred. So now priorities are switched to this, and what gets me too is that these are temporal and short-term instances. Tomorrow, unfortunately, it's going to be something else. Next week it's going to be something else, and this is going to be gone until something happens tragically again, and it's going to continue unless we as a society determine that hey, there's a right and there's a wrong way to do things, and do our best to make it happen.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you do if you think your family member is helping to smuggle people? They got a boat and they are out there taking that money to smuggle people to wherever they want to go.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a right way and a wrong way. Now you advise. You could make that report anonymously. There's crime tipsters, and that's one thing I want to. Yeah. We have to really find better ways too of people the ability to report anonymously. There's Crime Stoppers out there, but more immediate, return. But yeah, you have to make that decision. Are you going to allow these people to continue in this practice, or are you going to try and change or break that circle, break that chain?
Yeah. Wow. Kamal, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I know we're going to have you on the show again in just a few weeks. Thanks for calling in.
No problem. Thank you, man.
Okay. Thank you very much. Continue to call in, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Very low. You need to try to turn your volume up a bit.
Okay, well, we'll have the producer work on that. All right.
Yeah. Listen, the sand trap, with reference to sand trap, where are those police boats, the 240-foot fast patrol boats? Are they still in the police college yard sitting up on dry dock?
I have no idea.
Pardon me?
I have no clue. But
they've been there. They've been in the back of their yard. They're sitting up on the trailers for a little while. I wonder if they're still there, because those boats should be in the water. The boundaries of the harbor ain't that big, and with two of them there, one to the east and one to the west, things like that should not be happening. But Dwight, this thing is steep, just like the previous caller said. This is steep. You remember when the Haitian community had a time in the east and none of us really knew about it? They have They have a directory of all each other's numbers, where they live. Everything is almost like a total subculture. And anything they do, the Haitian community knows. Now, let me qualify something that I said to you and your guest yesterday, in case there's any doubt and anybody might have been talking foolishness. 30-foot boat with 2 engines on the back. You're looking at about 150 to 200 gallons of fuel maximum. Okay? 60 persons, with even 30 persons on board, the weight of that, trying to push that boat out of there in terms of those engines, you could barely make it to Andros without fuel in that boat back up. In order to go to Florida, Miami, which is 299 miles away, you would have to fuel that boat up, stop somewhere to fuel that boat up at least 3 times. So what I told you and your guest yesterday, they had no intentions of taking those Haitians straight into Miami. It was key to drop them off somewhere or dump them overboard because they know a lot of them can't swim. And that is what we need to be careful of with these smugglers nowadays. Thanks, Dwight, for taking my call.
Yeah, wow. Oh, boy. Very, very, very disturbing. All right. Don Sargent is joining us now. Good morning, Don. Great to have you with us.
Morning, Dwight.
Yeah. So we're getting a reaction to this. The fact that this matter has expanded. A third Bahamian arrested now. The National Security Minister says they are going to really probe this to see how deep this operation runs, if it's just local, how many people involved, as it just doesn't seem like an overnight operation. And that's happening while the Prime Minister is saying that he is part of a CARICOM group that's going to be hoping to help solve Haiti's gang problems. So, All right, so we're getting your reaction to all of this, folks, and we want to hear from you. Text us 422-4796, tweet us, Facebook us, and call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right. This person here says, the text, that sand trap property is a center of many human trafficking instances. It is well known, the setup for human trafficking, oh my goodness gracious, and other nefariousness. When the apartment complex covered in privacy lattice to house the migrants while they accumulate the passengers to make the trip. Sad that we can't control this unknown property. Yeah, the name comes up frequently in many different types of illicit activities. Indeed. And it just every year, just how it is, I guess. What's that all about? What is that all about? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. What do you make of it, Don, with the Prime Minister that he's part of a committee now to help solve the gang problems in Haiti, along with Jamaica?
I think I saw that yesterday in the news, he made a statement in reference to, I believe it was the international community asking the Bahamas to take in more irregular refugees or irregular migrants. I think it was specifically coming in from Haiti, and he said that he did not sign on to that because the Bahamas does not have the capacity to take on board the volume of persons that will be coming in from Haiti. And seeing the reactions from Bahamians who agreed to that, some seem very distrustful that he may have signed on secretly and all sorts of things. I think that's that position that things happen. Something what he said is true. That position is very consistent, I think, with previous BAM administrations. That seems to be the Bahamas' line in general, and I kind of agree with it. We stretched thin is a I don't know. It feels like I'm oversimplifying the situation by saying that, but that's how I feel we are in terms of resources and ability to, pay for things and deal with our problems. And the task force with CARICOM, I feel as though we've seen this before in the past, I think in the 1990s and all the things that leads to. I don't know. I don't know what the solution to the issues of Haiti is. I think that what we're experiencing now with these issues of migration and human smuggling is only going to intensify, let's say within the next 5 years, as the situation in Haiti continues to be extraordinarily unstable. That usually leads to more and more people pushing outwards of the country towards the United States or the neighbors. So I think this is something, again, we're going to have to come to grips with. I would think we have some laws that need to change, perhaps. I'd say stiffer penalties in cases of persons taking advantage of the situation, like we were seeing with this tragedy that we just recently had. Like I've said, it's going to accelerate, not decelerate, and we need to be prepared to deal with all contingencies.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dwight?
Yeah, I'm just focusing on what he's saying about the gang stuff again. I find it. We have to do something, yes, sure, but I don't know. Again, a couple of these countries, and I don't know if Barbados has anything near what is, but these countries have not been able to get a handle on their own situations. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how that one's going to work at all. But and I'm pretty sure those two countries don't face the challenges that Haiti does, but they have significant gang issues, and yet, okay, sure, but you gotta be seen to be doing something is better than absolutely nothing, and so it'll be interesting to
I
see.
suppose it's optics then, rather than
it's
just being a tangible solution.
It's got to be too, right? It's seriously people who don't know. I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but anyway, two people who don't know something try and help somebody do the thing that they don't know. But okay, but again, it's something, and something needs to be done. So we've got to do it. You got to try it. If you can, maybe being an outsider will help to broker some deals, and perhaps then maybe they'll come here and help us. I don't know, but something, anything needs to be done. This is crazy, and it cannot continue. And so, but we do need to get a handle on what's going on in this place right here, and why people would think that this should be tolerated here, painting about black or dark blue and smuggling people to their deaths, and everybody's just playing like it's a surprise, or like they, oh well. No, that's unacceptable, and we wait to see what happens to these folks who were involved in this terrible, terrible incident. And if what that caller just said is accurate, then this is, being charged with murder and manslaughter definitely need to be heard. Definitely need to be heard. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. So,
and I also wanted to say, if in this sort of process, right? Because I don't presume it's going to be one charge against someone. Let's say that someone is the head of the smuggling ring, or whatever, or however the crumbs fall, be it as it may with this situation. I presume it's going to be more than one charge brought up against someone. I also wanted to say I don't know why we do this all the time, where let's say that you get charged with 7 different things and the highest charge is 4 years for something. Like, you could see a plethora of charges brought up against someone. The highest charge is 4 years, and they're just going to serve all these things concurrently, which is kind of rubbish, because it's kind of like a slap on the wrist. But the scale of a tragedy like this, and like the ramifications of the fact that you would be able to take life under these sorts of circumstances, so many lives at that, including that of children, and see someone get sentenced concurrently, it seems like rubbish to me. But that is something that I'm very concerned about. I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if that's going to be the case in this particular case if people are charged, but the history has shown that may very well indeed be the case. And I would hope, at least in this sort of situation, that it isn't, because an example should be made. And this is not the first time something like this has happened, but I think the scale of this situation and intensity of it is something new to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So you mentioned it, and we did talk about it in depth yesterday, but the situation with the Prime Minister saying that he didn't sign on to that that agreement. So we got a text yesterday. It was very interesting, and I see that in the Senate, former Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield is saying something very similar. So I'll read the text again, and then we'll get to what Henfield's saying. So the text said yesterday that the only way to address this is to join the international community and implement refugee legislation in order to begin addressing these issues. Closing our eyes to it leads to more problems, as we continue to see. The Bahamas signed the Refugee Convention in 1993, almost 30 years ago. The convention doesn't require states to accept all migrants. It talks about refugees and also opens to necessary help. Also opens necessary help the Bahamas needs to manage migration challenges. Okay, so that's the text. And then Henfield in the Senate yesterday said, quote, the migration of workers from Haiti must be regularized, sustainable, and safe. This will hopefully mitigate the urge of risk takers to embark on these ill-fated trips to find work. Henfield said that such incidents in which many Haitian migrants have perished over the years highlight the plight of the Haitian people in a country where the hope for a better future continues to fade. So he's saying that you've got to increase opportunities for folks in a safe way, as opposed to people taking these risks. And of course, we know employers here have to practice what they preach. They will say all these things, call into shows, but we know they are hiring people who are not regularized or don't have a legal means to be here. So what do you make of that, folks, right? That if we create the pathways for, in a controlled way, for people to come here, that they will not take that. And is that something we can be saying when we have so many people who are not working here at this time? Let's get your views on that. Text us 422-4796 and continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259.
I just want to say I agree with this sentiments. I don't know if that will stymie the demand, essentially, to get out of Haiti. We also have to take into consideration what Haiti's population is almost 12 million people. So I don't know if the Bahamas even has the capacity to even make a dent in that. But I do agree with the points about the immigration process. I think it should go beyond that, actually, more than just simply the situation in Haiti, but we need immigration reform at the beginning of it. But again, Dwight, I don't know if specifically doing that with the only intention of it, supposedly what was said, as to decrease the risk of people continuously risking their lives to come to the Bahamas or to go to the United States, is going to decrease because of immigration policy change. Because again, their population is near 12 million people. The Bahamas is barely scratching 400,000. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting point. Some text messages here. Someone says, Dwight, I hope when you all find out that a Haitian was behind this operation, you all will ridicule them the same way you all ridicule Bahamians. Oh, boy. Okay, texter. You really think that's a sensible text to send? Well, of course. Why wouldn't whoever is responsible? But already 3 Bahamians have been arrested. So I mean, what do you say? You think they're not Bahamians? That's what? Okay, sure. Why not? Why wouldn't we? What do you think this is? Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. Anyway, this person here says, are all those Bahamians caught up in this real Bahamians or just paper Bahamians? Because a lot of paper Bahamians on Arawak Key are confusing tourists and presenting as Bahamians.
What does that even mean, though?
I don't know what's happening here. Y'all are very funny. Okay. Well, they got a passport. And they're good around. So, Bahamian. Okay, folks. Sure. This one says here, man, Dwight, you need to be offensive. Sometimes that's the only thing that gets the wheel to move, or that moves the wheel. I hear you. Okay. We'll see. Another one here. We have our own problems that we need our government to deal with. Let's get order. While I applaud this effort, why are we seen to be leading this charge? What do you mean by that, Texter? Because we're the main country being impacted. I don't think Barbados has a gigantic Haitian immigrant problem, or even Jamaica. So, yeah, the Bahamas is the one. What? Anyway, I'll continue to read your text. They go on. Any solution from Haiti needs to be solved from within with a little help. Well, that's what Prime Minister Davis is saying. It needs to be, right? They just want to assist, not give them the solution. But they want to assist, yeah. The texter continues to say, let's focus on us. If helping them will help us, then sure. But at the end of the day, you can't help someone who doesn't want help. Well, that much is true. All right. But we have a vested interest in this, in Haiti doing better, right? It's forever be in this situation. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, my good young friend on Saturday. Dwight, let me see if I can make my input. You see, the Bahamas, ain't no country in the world help the Haitians more than us to be me people. Like the Texas saying, we got our own problems in here. The rainy season starts, people roof leaking, people ain't going to be able to sleep now. Government ain't building no portable homes. See, Dwight, let me tell you something. When my daddy and uncles and grandfathers went on the contract, they went the right way. They speak English, they had to go get checkup and everything, and they didn't overstay. Now, some overstayed, and who overstayed were punished. You see, we in the Bahamas, we have the stop legislation and the people put people on the photos. France or Haiti, billions of dollars. The Clinton Foundation or Haiti, billions of dollars. Give the people the money. Why taking can't take in some? Why Cuba can't take in some? The American body country was closer to them. Like the text saying, we need to take care of our own problem first. And see, but all our leaders who like go to the United Nations and sign about the super things, they don't concern us to be people. They can be rude. Not saying being bad, no. We people, we are tired. All we did is get taxed triple times, right? Where this money supposed to come from to take care of the people? Medical, home, and schooling, right? Food. Where this thing supposed to come from? Right? You know, the Bible tells you stick to your race, and I don't hate no Haitians. I got some good Haitian friends who are Haitians, personal friends, good friends. I call them mommy and daddy, mommy and dad. That's how good and tight we was. But we need to stand up, man. We need to stand up. We need to stand up. Let's take it. We got plenty of issues in this country. We got a crime problem in this issue. And anybody found bringing these people, I don't care if they're Haitian, whatever, 50 years in jail. They judge them, be playing. They go there and legislate laws, man. Go there and legislate laws that pass. The fines. Anybody got caught by any legal person, take their business to put pressure on these people. This is the only way we can get it done. Start with these construction jobs, these hotel jobs, people working in the night. Right? And that's all I can say, man.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. More text messages. This person says here, this is about whether we need to have the migration issue, whether we need to have a program for people to come here to work, as opposed to what we're seeing here. This person says, I don't think it's that simple. The minute you announce an easing of migration restrictions, you will see a flotilla of illegal vessels, the likes of which we've never seen. Well, that's not what anyone was suggesting. Not an easing of migration restrictions. You actually would put in place standards, and it wouldn't be an easing. You'd have to meet these requirements in order to work here for a limited amount of time or whatever it is. But that's what others are suggesting might be more helpful. We've got some major employment challenges here all on our own. This person says here, oh boy. Okay, where to go? Poor social programs, no investments, bad parenting, liberal education, U.S. violence, TV, media, and music, and nonsensical rhetoric leads to daytime murders as society has totally collapsed. Okay, all right, that text has come out of nowhere, but
that was a conspiracy theory if I ever heard one.
What, really? But it is true. But is this okay? Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about
Well, that would also mean, Dwight, that this very show is causing daytime murders based on what they just.
What? Why are you saying that?
They said media. With people, we already have
in
the
media.
studies that
Violence in the media.
Nope, that's nonsense. There's
That's what
already
they say.
studies that prove violent movies, violent video games have absolutely no correlation
Oh, yeah?
on violence in society. No.
Okay. Well, there are studies that prove that it does too. So,
And there are also studies that
anything.
prove that beating children lead to these types of societies. That how you raise your children leads to these types of societies.
Well,
The positions that a society has on women tend
That
to
one's
lead to these types of societies. I'm just saying, there's far more evidence in the opposite direction than there is in the direction of saying that it does, and that's a weak argument.
Well, like you say, in the absence of good, healthy parenting, if your kid
No, it
grows
doesn't
up on
matter
violence,
because this is not a country that makes decisions based on evidence. We could have all the evidence and bring on researchers that talk about these things all day long, and payments will change absolutely nothing about them.
well,
so,
that is true. That is true. But you
Take
know
what you
that in the absence of the parenting, you just can't just fill up on a dose of anything you want on television. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster. But anyway, I'm not sure where the text came from because it's not really related to what we're talking about right now. We may get into this thing with the guy who got co-conspirators in a moment. We'll get to that. Yeah. This texter says, as a deterrent, the trackers should be fined $10,000 per person smuggled and imprisoned, and the person who paid to be smuggled should be revoked. Their citizenship should be revoked. I doubt they're citizens. Should be revoked or not allowed to apply for citizenship. They should be deported and banned from ever entering the Bahamas. It's not enough for them to be imprisoned. They should all be fined and made to pay as well. Okay. This person says, so my tax dollars should help fix the illegal Haitian migration? Okay, then I'm leaving this S-hole country because the only thing you all want to do, oh boy. Okay, I don't think I can read some of this part. I don't see it. Well, you could.
Wait, didn't they say they don't see any avenues for them to migrate?
You really could if you, right? There are all kinds of ways.
I mean, because
what are you
Canada
talking
is
about?
always trying to pull Bahamians. So, I mean,
all of them.
Yeah, the United States as well.
U.S.,
Every
UK, Canada.
Every single nurse that's graduated during the same time as me from the College of the Bahamas and the year afterwards, all of them that I knew, all have left the country during the pandemic. So
if you can find the opportunity, they will. There's a path. So I don't know what you're saying, but okay, sure. Drive on Cowpen Road right now, and you will see countless Haitian men waiting for their ride to get to work. Drive through the inner city, and you will see countless Bahamian men under a tree getting ready for their first Guinness. First. Anyway, please don't insult me by asking me how I know who is who. That's really offensive. No one's going to ask you that because we know what you're talking about. That's why I said we have an employment issue, so it'll be very difficult for people to accept that we would create a path. But will that help to slow down the illegal migration issue? But you are right. Again, never once has someone, as a Haitian person, ever begged me for money. But healthier looking men than myself will ask me for money every day, Bahamians. So we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. The Haitian migrants are all working, it seems.
Is this a cultural problem, though? Because we also see within the education system, the children of persons of Haitian or Jamaican descent more often than not excel. And at times, whatever that means, tend not to. Is this a cultural issue that we're seeing, or is this something else playing out?
It's plenty things. Plenty things. Yeah. This person says, good morning. There already exists a way to enter and remain in a country legally. We just need to realize that a lot of people will not want to take this road and will look at ways to get around the system. This is true throughout the world. Yeah, and that will happen, especially when there's so many people willing to hire you when you have done that. And that is a problem. And we've been talking about this for years, right? Employers who are looking for shortcuts as well, they aren't helping the situation. But if they would say, I would love to have you, but you need to go through the proper channels. Not enough of them are saying that because, as we just said, plenty of these people are working, whereas... So we've got a lot of contributors to the situation that we're in.
And if you're not regularized, right, they can hire you and pay you less. And if you complain about it, then it's exploitation, and it is incumbent upon us to do something about that. But once again, I'm sure we spoke about this about 2 or 3 years ago, Dwight, and I'm sure we could pull that episode right up and play it again, and no one would be able to tell that it's a rerun. So that's unlikely to change.
Say the date. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. A couple more.
Sounds like they're starting to get a little spicy.
Sorry, what?
It sounds like the texts are starting to get a little spicy.
About some callers, but David. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we can talk more on this, and I do want to get to this story here, because some people clearly think they're living in a wild west movie in the middle of the day, pulling up to people's houses, and several of you shooting at the house, but shooting one of your own. Oh boy. What is going on around here? What's going on? We're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on a Tuesday morning here on Guardian Radio. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you an attorney with a joint practice operating from one location? Accepting payments from clients doesn't have to be complicated.
Introducing RBC MultiPay. Now each attorney can securely accept and settle payments with one point-of-sale device supporting multiple bank accounts.
With competitive pricing, training, and easy setup, you will be up and running in no time.
Call 356-8500 to sign up for RBC MultiPay.
7:34 the time now. Time for your first look at traffic for this morning. Brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. In your real-time traffic, we are seeing some heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road. That's between Soldier Road and the roundabout with Independence Drive. Northbound lanes there as you get over that hill. Building traffic near the junction with Carmichael Road as well. That's your hotspot this morning. Milo Butler Heights, some heavy traffic midway between Fire Trail and Tawny Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes this morning near Harold Pond. Glass Road looking a lot better for you as an alternate route. Just near Munnings Road, you'll see the traffic building for you northbound to JFK Drive. Elsewhere, we've got Eastern Road, seeing that slowing traffic that build up as a result of the closure of Village Road from East Bay to Harmony Hill Road, and definitely you do want to avoid Village Road as a result of all of this work going on there. And keep that in mind. The Eastern Road is busy and gets busy during rush hour especially, but busy all day long because of that detour there. And so if you can, you might want to try Bernard Road or Prince Charles Drive even at this hour as alternate routes. That's what we're seeing so far. That's your first look at traffic for this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning traffic brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic. And we've got another check of your weather for this morning. Here's what's happening. We've got a surface trough interacting with the trough in the upper levels. That's creating unsettled weather across the country, while high pressure is supporting moderate to strong winds and moderate to rough seas. For all areas today, your forecast calls for variably cloudy, hot, and windy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Becoming partly cloudy, warm, and windy with isolated showers and thunderstorms tonight. Smallcraft caution is in effect for the Northwest Bahamas, and that's going to become a smallcraft advisory in the central and southeastern islands. 81 degrees right now and mostly cloudy skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. And everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities, especially during afternoon hours. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will experience a slight shift during the next 2 days, and this will be enough to decrease winds and seas a little through Thursday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, we're expecting partly sunny to mostly sunny, hot and windy conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, partly cloudy, hot and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. In the tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 5 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by BTC. We'll be back with more morning blend after these messages. Stay with us.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
You know, you should teach a savings class, because you know everything. No, I just choose wisely. Like, I just got 2 months free home internet from BTC. All I did was sign up for internet. 2 months internet free? For real? I bundled my internet and mobile services, and now I'm paying half of what the other guys charge. Plus, internet free. What? Nah, that's a big deal.
Switch to BTC Internet and get the second and third months free for new customers. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Massey United is now CG United, a member of the Coral Group, a leading regional insurance provider. At CG United, our dedication to our clients and commitment to providing quality products and services will continue to be at the center of everything we do. 2 regional insurance companies have now combined experience and financial strength to serve you with the same people-first mission which we have had for generations. CG United remains committed to you, our clients and partners.
It's regatta time again with Sand Dollar and the Rollville Development Association in Exuma for the 78th Rollville Regatta and Homecoming. All roads lead to Exuma, July the 28th through August 1st for Sand Dollar giveaways all weekend. Get ready for live performances, gospel night, battle of the DJs, boat sailing, mixology competition, and so much more. Come and hang out with the Sand Dollar team to learn about the Bahamian digital dollar. Use Sand Dollar at the regatta site to avoid having to worry about cash. Check out www.sanddollar.bs for more information about the digital dollar.
This magic moment, so different and so new, but like any other, until I kissed you. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too. By the look in your eyes, sweeter than wine, softer than the summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Don Sargent. It is Tuesday, final Tuesday in July 2022. Wow. All right. So we're talking about this situation, the smuggling situation, and the Prime Minister saying that he's part of a CARICOM group that's going to hope to address the gang violence issue in Haiti. So we're talking about it, and some ideas have been presented, creating pathways for more Haitians to work legally in the country, and getting mixed reaction to that. This person is saying that if we were to do that, you remember the text there, that would, you'd see a flotilla. Yeah. All right. So they're saying, after I read that, they're saying, you missed my point. When the government makes the announcement, the informal network will tell people in Haiti that the Bahamas is easing restrictions. Remember when they sent the message around when minutes won the government? This is not simple. They better do some deep risk analysis thinking. But also the message could be sent around at the same time. But, right, if you come there and you don't have a right to work, you're going to get arrested and put away for a long time. That kind of, right? But some people won't listen. I get what you're saying. I do. Boy, this person says that you can't have smugglers without people who want to be smuggled. This activity has Haitian stamped all over it. The Haitians only want to get by laws and will do anything. Okay? Their communities are filled with illegalities. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Dwight, when will you all wake up? You already have a Haitian problem in your country. You go into the food stores, banks, and hotels. These Haitians already are taking jobs away from Bahamians. This is a bad idea. And Dwight, you know Haitian women have at least 6 kids statistically. Come on. Oh, boy. These are the text messages, folks. Okay. This person says, whoever's found responsible for the boat tragedy, be it Bahamians, Haitians, zebras, giraffes, hybrids, should be charged with murder and treason. And I agree. Yes. This person here says, putting people in jail will have no effect on immigration, according to Don's nonsense. Let's deal with Bahamian issues. Those fools want us to open our borders, but right now in New York and Washington, they are stopping illegal immigrants coming into their areas. Well, I think you said it, illegal, right? That's... So you said media and social media, the influence on their developing minds is considerable, though, according to researchers, and they have a name here. Examples, school shootings after other mass shootings at business places. Many times these happened after the initial shootings were on social media and in movies.
Yeah, we also have to take it in consideration. There's a lot more factors because these mass shootings in general seem to be concentrated in 2 countries, predominantly the United States, and now Canada is also catching hell with that. But the rest of the world ain't really suffering from those issues. Not saying that they don't ever happen, but overwhelmingly, I dare say 99% of them happens in the United States. I think the United States has 2 to 3 school shootings 2 to 3 mass shootings every single day. I'm not sure. There's a lot more environmental factors there. And yes, social media can have a negative effect on child development, especially sense of self-esteem and self-worth. Because, to be honest, most of the things I just see on social media are curated or fake, but we tend to believe them to be reality. But the truth is that alone is not going to cause somebody to go and shoot up a school or be a criminal. There's obvious factors here that we never seem to ever want to deal with, the way that we rear children in this country, the way that if you do not have the economic means, whether it be by lack of education or you have no skills and no trade, and you have children, the only thing you're really going to pass on to your children is poverty and suffering. And so your children grow up in that environment and are ripe for exploitation. And the unfortunate reality is you are essentially setting up 2 to 3 more generations to go through the same suffering that you've gone through. Now, that doesn't mean that if you don't have children, there should really just be more family planning. And it just boggles my mind that we've been living with these issues in this country for more than 50 years. In reference to not just crime, but just how people grow up in different communities, and it's like you notice that poverty, lack of jobs and education intensifies in some communities, and it's on the island of Providence, if you just look at that, more than others. And these same factors are always present. And nothing is really done on a big enough scale to actually tackle this problem. And so it just balloons and it balloons and it balloons. We also have issues with persons who aren't regularized in the country, who's been born here, whether or not what the parents did was right or wrong. I'm not debating that. But the reality is they don't participate in the formal economy. So they participate in the informal economy, which also leads to more crime. So we're breeding this problem in the country, and we're not dealing with the root causes and the symptoms. We are manufacturing criminals in the Bahamas. But that's a whole other conversation for another day, and kind of detracts from the conversation about immigration.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So, folks, you can continue to call in or text us or tweet us or Facebook us about that. And the numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Again, tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. All right, so we're going to leave that there. Again, if you want to continue to call, that's fine. So this other story, yeah, boy, I tell you, man accidentally shot dead by a co-conspirator in murder attempt. All right, Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. A man was accidentally shot and killed by his co-conspirator as they attempted to kill another man in Pinewood Gardens yesterday. Police Chief Superintendent Kreslin Skipping said that an orange Nissan March with 3 men pulled up in front of a home on Ficus Street off Pigeon Plum Street around 1 p.m. yesterday. 2 men armed with handguns got out of the vehicle with the intention of harming a man who lived in the house there. After getting out of the car, they started shooting at the man. The shooters also riddled the home with bullets. Now, this is a quote. During the time that they were firing shots at the intended target, they accidentally shot one of the males who came with them to the residence. Now, the intended target successfully evaded the men. He was later taken into custody along with 2 other men. Skipping said that the Nissan vehicle was also recovered. A 47-year-old man who said that he has 17 children said the man who got away is his 24-year-old son. I'm happy to hold my grandchildren, noting that roughly 12 children live in the home. Oh my God. Okay, Quote, they have no holes. I think he's talking about the children. Is he talking about the children? Yeah, or the house? They have no holes. The amount of bullet holes I see through this door is something else of the children. It's kind of depressing that men would come and shoot up a place where children are. These children didn't do anything to anybody. These set of children didn't do nobody nothing. A child who is 8, 10, 12 years old, he isn't in any gang. So are you trying to take revenge on my grandchildren? What are you revenging about? Revenge on what? The man who did not wish to give his name said he spoke out because things could have gone a different way. He said, quote, I plead to these young men to try and settle their differences differently. This was the 4th shooting death since Thursday. 2 men were killed in separate incidents on Thursday. Another man who was on bail for an offense that police did not specify to the media was also shot to death as he waited to put gas in his car on Carmichael Road and Faith Avenue on Sunday. Wow. Okay. What a story. What a story there. It's just like you were talking about earlier, Don. It's like one of these movies that you watch, Let's get your reaction to it, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Got a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning. Calling in reference to the matter in Haiti. I agree with you. The government is looking and is finding ways to deal with the matter. But in Haiti, it's a little bit more complicated than just a gang. As a Bahamian, as a business Bahamian, I have businesses in Port-au-Prince, in Haiti, and I've invested from the Bahamas a few $1 million into Haiti, and living there, being in the country as a Bahamian, the problem is very, very complicated. I think that we can take a better approach as Bahamians to seek to offer more financial assistance to Haiti by way of investment. I think that on a larger scale, if the government sees that there is the cheapest labor on planet Earth today exists in Haiti, and we have a lot of things here that we can produce. We have the skills, the education, but I think we need to see Haiti more from the perspective that it is someplace that we can go in order for us to enhance our investments and also to grow the Bahamas. I think we're looking at Haiti more from the perspective as that Haiti is there to, for want of a better word, bring the Bahamas down. But Haiti is a place, if you ever go there and live there, that you'll see massive opportunities, a humongous amount of opportunities for the Bahamas. And in particular, the fact of the matter is the labor is so cheap. And that is one of the most attractive things about Haiti that is right on our doorsteps, that we can produce anything in Haiti. The challenges are, like you said, are the domestic and the civil and the disruption in society. And yeah, that structure is poorly designed and there's massive concerns. But I just want to say that I think that we need to look more towards what can we do with our wealth and knowledge in Haiti to better ourselves and indirect or directly helping Haiti at the same time. If we can see it from that concept, I think that we can be a huge help to Haiti economically.
So you think instead of having folks come here in an organized way, that we should go there?
Precisely, Haiti.
Yeah. Okay.
Precisely.
Interesting.
Precisely. And more of us, and more on a large scale, Dwight. From a government perspective, we in the Bahamas, Dwight, the Bahamas do not consist of topsoil sufficiently to grow agriculturally for us to feed ourselves. We fuel ourselves with it. We go with these little minuscule farming projects in Andros and in Abaco and in others. But the reality is the topsoil in the Bahamas is insufficient for any long-term sustainable agriculture development. Our neighbors right next door to us, Dwight, has all of the topsoil that is next. They have mountains of it. They have trillion tons of it, right?
And it's still there because everyone keeps saying that they've depleted everything, though, the soil.
Absolutely false, right? I live in a neighborhood in Haiti where vegetation and trees, the amount of fruits and vegetables in Haiti that rots and spoil in the marketplaces, right, it's insane. All right, a simple thing like processing these things before they actually rot. The refrigeration is bad. All of my stores, I have 6 stores in Port-au-Prince, and all of my stores generators, right, just to sustain infrastructure like electricity and all of the essential things, air conditioning. My stores have 2 bathrooms in it. I mean, there's no place in Haiti in stores that offer public bathrooms to people. These are just basic things that are missing. But my point, right, is not so much the challenges that the people have. I want to focus more, whenever I speak to these matters, on us as Bahamians as to how we view Haiti, which is truly, 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 truly sad. Dwight, we need to start seeing Haiti for its true values. And yes, there's a lot of immigration problems, and Bahamas cannot and should not entertain that it can host or attempt to host or to house any large amount of Haitians. You've got, like you said, 12 to 14 million people in that country, right? And it is not conceivable for us. But we can certainly take our skill, like myself and others, who have an interest in bettering themselves to seek to invest into Haiti. And if there is a large-scale program going on, that is the way we can help Haiti. We are very wealthy, Dwight. Don't believe for 1 minute that this country is without wealth. And it's across the spectrum. When we compare ourselves to other Caribbean countries, we can do more. We can do a lot more in Haiti. The big problem, Dwight, is there's a language barrier and there's a cultural barrier that has to be working. You have to work through and around. But outside of that, right, if you have any monies to invest, seek to looking at places where the labor is cheap and where the people are willing to work and to work hard and to work day and night. And they are huge, huge attributes to successful business.
All right. Thank you for that perspective. Very interesting discussion. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're more than welcome, Dwight. Take care.
Okay. All right. Hey, yeah.
I think an interesting part of that too, because I think this has been said before, exactly what DeColo just said. It's not a new concept and idea. It has been discussed before. But I think the only part about that when it comes to selling these ideas to the public is that's along the same lines by which the United States and I think most of Europe has operated, which is outsourcing certain things because it's cheaper, because of the cheaper labor. And for various reasons, like you talked about the soil, it's cheaper and easier to grow these things in another country and then bring them here. And then that starts the arguments of, oh, you're outsourcing jobs, right? So it's something you got to balance. But I think in terms of a country like ours, where predominantly we import everything, it'll probably be an easier sell. It's probably easier on the public for us to convince people that this is an alternative to essentially making the rules for immigration, which I think have to change eventually anyway, but making those rules for immigration into the country or pathways easier, or as one of the texters would said, relaxing some of the restrictions.
Yeah.
It is definitely something to think about. Not even just think about it, something I think we should need to discuss within the House. And publicly, we need to discuss this. And should it be a situation like how China operates, where they have, what do they call it now? Economic zones within, like they have one in Jamaica with Gisco, where they own, I think, one of the ports as well as the steel and bauxite manufacturing in Jamaica. Look into doing this, something similar, because again, this isn't the first time a country's ever done this. If we're going to go down this path, I think it's something we should explore. So,
right.
you know,
listen to this text as we go to the news. This person says that caller is lost on Haitian labor. Haitian labor is cheap, but of low quality. Basically, garbage caller, he can invest, but wise people not. Well, caller, I think, a texter, I think you, oh boy, obviously you haven't had anything done anywhere near you recently, because if you have a project in the Bahamas, in Nassau, there will likely only be Haitians or other foreigners working on it. So I think you are incorrect, texter. That's all that we have working on anything here, it seems. But anyway, we'll be back after the news. Stay with us.
Check it out.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 at BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:18, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a surface trough that's interacting with a trough in the upper levels. That's creating some unsettled weather across the country, while high pressure is being supporting moderate to strong winds and rough seas across the islands. Got some warnings out there. Beachgoers should be alert for possible rip currents along southeasterly beaches. And everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and avoid direct sun exposure during afternoon hours. Triple-digit heat indices expected again today when it is sunny and not raining, which it could be as it is now in some parts of New Providence. Boaters should also be alert for water spout activity. So for all areas, we're looking at fairly cloudy, hot, and windy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, becoming partly cloudy, warm storms tonight. Smallcraft caution in the northwest Bahamas will become a smallcraft advisory in the central and southeastern islands. 82 degrees under, rain and thunderstorms actually in some parts of New Providence. Some might be widespread actually, and that's happening right now. I'm expecting highs to get up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius, again, when it is sunny. And overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the high pressure will experience a slight shift in during the next few days, and it'll be enough to decrease winds and seas a little through Thursday. And we'll see a decrease in rain chances as well. So for Wednesday, tomorrow, partly sunny to mostly sunny, hot and windy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, partly cloudy, hot and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. In the tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 5 days. That is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. Another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. In your real-time traffic, Eastern Road is not looking good for you at all. That's a result of that closure. Village Road from East Bay Street all the way down to Harmony Hill Road, and it's causing major delays, and the traffic's backed up. From Montague to Fox Hill, that's westbound. You're going to do a lot better if you can get to Bernard Road and even Prince Charles Drive, even though there are pockets on Prince Charles Drive, especially near Elizabeth Estates, and have the major intersections, but Eastern Road is one to avoid this morning. Elsewhere, heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road, northbound from Carmichael up to the roundabout with Blue Hill Road. That's northbound. The roundabout with Independence Drive, yes, on Blue Hill Road. Independence Drive looking messy as well. Westbound, terrible traffic there. You might want to avoid that as well. Robinson Road or Soldier Road, better alternate routes for you. Eastbound, Independence Drive also busy, heading toward the roundabout with East Street. East Street is busy from the intersection with Soldier Road up to through that roundabout and on to the intersection with Robinson Road. Elsewhere, we've got Carmichael building eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill looking challenging for you this morning. And now Milo Butler Highway is heavy from Fire Trail all the way up to the roundabout with Tony Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone looking a little bit better, but still busy about midway between Fire Trail and JFK Drive. You'll see that traffic in front of you northbound this morning. Those are your hotspots today so far. That's what we're seeing. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic.
Jump on a punchy man back.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Don Sargent. Interesting song choice by our producer there. I don't know if he's sending some messages or something. I don't know, Don. What do you think's going on there? Or he just is a fan of classic soca. What do you think? Is it related to what we've been talking about today? Anyway, we'll leave that there. We've been having a great discussion so far this morning, talking about this smuggling issue with Haiti and what can be done to help with that and help Haiti. Getting some interesting, more helpful than what we had yesterday. Yesterday was bitter and nasty, some of the messages we got, but ideas this morning. More ideas this morning. Okay. No, he says it wasn't. He's not sending any messages. Okay. All right. Sure. All right. So we got a good call before the break, and we can get back to the story with the murder gone bad. I don't know what to call it. We'll get back to that in a second. But anyway, so people reacting to the call we got before the break. Mixed reaction to that call. I think it was a good call, though. But a lot of people are... All right, so listen to these text messages. Someone says here, nobody could invest in Haiti, much less a Bahamian. There is no law in Haiti. We don't need any more Haitians here. Well, you're saying two different things there. But they're saying that go there and create the opportunities. There are lots of Bahamians with money, the caller is suggesting, and there are plenty of opportunities there, he's saying. And that will help the Bahamian, the people there, who will seek out opportunities in their own country. And tackling, I don't want to say killing, tackling the two birds with the one soft pebble. Yeah.
All right. It's a stone. But it's a good, I don't know. The stone in the right spot can do a lot of good, right?
That's what I'm saying. Soft pebble is better. Tackling, Okay. This person here saying, I hear you all talking every day trying to make Bahamians look bad over illegal immigrants. Who's y'all? And really? But when will y'all hold Haiti responsible for its country and people? Don't listen to hypothetical nations like the U.S. Very confused by your texter. Okay, making Bahamians look bad over illegal immigrants? I mean, you mean the who? The Bahamians who hire them? The Bahamians who smuggle them into and out of the country? Those Bahamians? Well, they deserve to look bad. But yes, Haiti has to be responsible, but there are many forces, century-old forces working against Haiti. They've had to face issues that the Bahamas wouldn't want to dream of. So they've had it bad from the start. And the countries that caused it to be this way are not doing anything to make it better. But that's a whole show, which we need to do.
Well, our prime minister is a leading voice on climate change. So I think we should use some of that leading voice on climate changeness to reach out and continue to petition, just like some of our CARICOM members have, to France to deal with the mess that you created.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's part of the solution, I think, don't you?
People need to be displeased we are. I've suggested we boycott them. People didn't like that when I said that. But including the upcoming Olympics, the whole diaspora should send a message. But those type things aren't well received. So, but those are things that could be done if we are serious. But, oh well. Anyway, this person says here, I agree with that caller. Haiti's value is its people, highly intelligent and hardworking. If the world wants nurses, train Haitian nurses. The world wants welders and plumbers, train Haitian welders and plumbers. Do it in Haiti. Education is their way up. It puts the power in their hands. Okay. Quite a few people have figured out who the caller was. Okay, that's great. No, that's another one there. And this one, read this one already about how the pool is not of low quality. But as I said before the break, that's pretty much all you get here these days. And people mention the fish fry as well everywhere. Where are the Bahamians? This person says here, I hear that caller talking about go invest in Haiti. First, why hasn't he invested? Did you hear him really? Because he said he has
He
6
literally
stores
said he
there.
did. Yes.
So you all don't listen. I don't understand it. This is why comprehension on the BGCSE and BJC grades is so. This is why they're so bad. What's happening?
Haiti, all I heard was Haiti and invest.
Yeah.
Stop listening after
He
that.
said he's been doing it for years. He's there often. He has 6 stores. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, they go on to say, if you believe Haitians will let you just come in, you culturally don't understand Haiti. Haitians of wealth will run you all out of Haiti. Obviously not. Obviously not, Texter. Right? So there are clearly lots of myths and misconceptions, and we all perhaps should get on the same page because he is telling a very different story. Very different story. Let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all.
Hi. Good morning.
You know, it seems like this gentleman is telling us to go and exploit the Haitian labor, you know, cheap labor, like everybody does, like the rich man in the United States does in China and
I mean, that's what you got from it. I think he said that there are opportunities
if you
there.
allow me to express my sentiments, you know, like you gave him the opportunity. You know,
Well, sure, but don't mischaracterize what he's saying.
Yeah, well, he's saying the labor in Haiti is cheap, right? Hello?
He said it is cheap, yes.
Right, so that's exploitation. You go there for cheap labor. The labor wasn't cheap, you would not go there. You know, but that's neither here nor there. You know, I have a associate that had that worked in his trade, right, business, right, and you know he talked about how good this Haitian labor was, but you know months later he told me that this Haitian labor died going to the United States. Why would he? You know what I'm saying? So apparently he is okay. It's okay for him to pay the Haitian laborer in the Bahamas wages that are not livable. You understand what I'm saying? And then when this Haitian labor goes, I mean, this is life. You understand me? To go to try to get a livable, move somewhere to get a livable wages, you know,
You're jumping to conclusions. You don't know if that's the reason why he did that.
Come on, man. That's what you think happens. These guys, they don't stay here. They work here until they get enough to go on. It's not livable wages, but we want our Bahamian laborers to work for these wages that they can live upon. And then another thing, we love to talk about crime and drugs and the like. These people do the same. These people are the leaders, the Haitians, Jamaicans, they the leaders, and they the same way how they poor people. You know, they carried everywhere they go. You go to the Florida area, you go to Jacksonville, Miami, California, New York. These folks are the leaders, you know, in the drug and gang culture. Thank you.
All right, so what do you suggest? What do you suggest we do?
I suggest that you do right by poor people wherever they are, man. Stop exploiting poor people. Poor people need livable wages. You see? You know, I advocate for livable wages and for people on this this capitalism. And okay, watch this now. We love to talk about this Haitian labor, this cheap labor, right? What about the professional laborers in Jamaica? There's scores of them. Why don't we invite them and give them? They don't have to risk their life on no boat, but when they come in, we don't want to give them no work permit. Why charge them for work permit?
Thousands of people here from Jamaica on work permits. What are you talking
Come
about?
on, they don't. Why do we need to charge them for work permit when they can come in and provide any cheap professional skills for us? I mean,
you say we
services,
shouldn't make
why?
them. You shouldn't. There shouldn't be a fee for a work permit. That's what you're saying.
Why? We need them. We need them.
Because Bahamians aren't. Lots of Bahamians aren't working.
On us every day. The doctors striking, the nurses striking. They're right there, and they speak English. The Haitians can't speak our English. They're in droves. They're in Jamaica.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I hear you. Thank you very much. They do that because there are tons of people here who aren't working. Now, if they don't have the skills, that's a different story. And but that is okay. You don't think we should charge for that? Okay. All right. Interesting, folks. What do you think about that?
I wanted to say something to that. It's. I understand his argument. The only problem with it was when we talk about the livable wages part, a livable wage in the Bahamas is going to be much higher than it is in, let's say, Jamaica, or even Haiti. And so an argument can still be made to say that if we did invest in Haiti, that the wage we'd be paying them there could take them much further than it could take anybody in the Bahamas. But again, I also understand and agree with his part that that's a lot what the rich countries have done. That's like what I said earlier. That's what the United States and Europe has essentially done with China, and now China is doing with most of Central, East, and West Africa. So, it's I guess a battle of arguments.
You got to make a start. Yes, what will be a livable wage there won't be what a livable wage is here.
It'll be much less than it is here.
Right, much less. But you start there, and then it builds when there's more investment. It builds until they have a strong middle class.
But
it may take a long time, but somebody's got to start.
If we were to do that, Dwight, I think it would have to be well, obviously, I don't know how, first of all, we'd even go about setting something like that up. It would take the first step is you need a stable government to have an agreement with to say that we're going to do X, Y, Z. I think we should have the whole Caribbean. It shouldn't just be the Bahamas doing this, right?
Well, I mean, first of all, you can't do it. It sounds like it's just on a government level, but individuals need to do it, and apparently there are a number.
No, but I'm saying is in order to protect the interests of individuals, you should have something like a special economic zone.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I see. Yeah. Well, I know who the caller is, and I know others who are businessmen in the show with a few of them on, and they can talk about their experiences. There are challenges, we know that, but we'll see. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and your co-host, Alan Johnson.
Hi.
This is the problem we have here in the Bahamas, Dwight, is oftentimes we enter into debate with the arrogance of ignorance, which basically, based on the information they get from Google, just simply leads to paralysis of analysis without understanding contextually how figures change as you move across countries. The very argument that is made by the individuals concerning a livable wage, or the fact that you say low wages, and that is the case, then he would be making an argument against China, against India, against Pakistan, against a lot of places where goods and services that are consumed by the world is produced. The problem, and I agree with the caller, and I don't think he would mind me stating his name, Mr. Greg Flowers. And he's well vested in Cayman, South America, Haiti, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and etc. And he has the understanding from a business perspective, both locally and internationally, where's the base for productivity. And I'm sure if you examine his businesses, you would see that chances are that his wages are substantially higher than the national GDP. And so no one is saying that you go to Haiti to absolutely exploit the individuals. What you do is that comparatively in Haiti, the wages is lower. If you were to examine the crops and things that comes from the Haiti, the USDA for crops that comes from Haiti has an actual office in Haiti that inspect the animals and plant that goes into the to make sure it meets certain requirements, inspect the farms, etc. And so when we begin to talk about the so-called concept of so-called food security and food sovereignty, which is absolutely two different statements that we have yet to actually fully understand what they mean, and we somehow use food security and food sovereignty interchangeably in our arguments, and I've seen it done for almost 2 decades here in the Bahamas by our political leadership and repeat by our people. And so if we're absolutely looking for food security, Haiti is a place that we should be examining for food security. Food sovereignty is another discussion that we can have, and is our haphazard, miscued view of the world for lack of proper comprehension that is also skewed our national development, because no country is without interdependence. And so, yes, if the Bahamas was considered Haiti, which is one of the fastest growing tech sectors in the region, clothing production sectors in the region, and is known for its possible arable expansion into the arable land, we would see the differences of catering to 11 million people. And so if we were to actually begin to look at the possibilities of the needs within Haiti, and let me say that the Bahamas itself lost that opportunity when we put a multi-million-dollar gateway, which is part of BTC, to the gate to the door of Haiti and never used it, for which another company came and made billions of dollars utilizing what we built. And as this arrogance of ignorance, when we allowed us to perpetrate it and permeate within our society, is what has also stifled our growth. We must conquer the Bahamas. The world is flat now. Technology and reaching other places and information now gives us the ability to not just grow within the Bahamas, but grow throughout the world. But we must look at both growing personally and growing for us to be able to sustain ourselves. We cannot sustain ourselves in isolation. And so what we have to do is look what is the best way for us to achieve it. If you go to Haiti and you don't like their GDP in Haiti of $1,200 per year, there's nothing that stops you from paying them double or triple their GDP. In fact, Jamaica's GDP is only $4,700 per year compared to the Bahamas' GDP of $30,000 per year. And so no one forces you to do anything. What you do is you go and make best practices. And if you're an ethical business person, then you wouldn't go in there to simply try to exploit them like we actually do in the Bahamas. It's funny that we say, oh, don't go to Haiti, you're going to exploit the labor. But why do we have them here? So we could exploit the same labor. It's a $1.5 billion a year business in the Bahamas in exploitation of Haitian labor. And I think we actually have a conversation in full context of our national development, not these key words that bring emotive or emotion into our dialogue. You know, you say, just say is this. You know, let me just end in saying this. For instance, we say the Haitians are in the bushes and everything else. You know what it does? It allows government to ignore the fact that government has failed for 3 decades to provide affordable housing to Bahamians. We ignore the fact that Bahamians themselves do not have affordable housing. We're not just talking about purchase of home, affordable living, housing. And we allow them to get away with it because we always get to say they're doing worse than us. Look what they're in the bushes. But look where you're living. Where's the affordable housing we need? And I think we have to, as we move forward and further into this financial crisis of our economy, at building with proper laws, proper procedures, and proper processes and policies for the development of Bahamians, and for those we want to change our immigration law if we have a problem with it, so that we can protect our citizenship that we're so afraid of losing, and actually grow the Bahamas, because we cannot grow it with our current population. We need an additional as much as 800,000 to 1.4 million people to fully accomplish what is done. We scream, Singapore, 6 million people, 2 million citizens. We scream these other, Qatar, this and all these other places, but we don't contextually digest the information for all these countries we scream we want to be like. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very great points there, Seattle. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, okay.
I just want to say one thing that his point about the BTC situation, whether we had the opportunity to expand in Haiti, I actually wanted to mention that earlier. I'm not sure if it probably was purely a political reason why we did it, as in the intervention of politicians versus anything, and then we went and sold BTC for pennies on the dollar. But whatever, it happened. It's a case in point where we had an opportunity to do something to expand, and we absolutely blew it. So I'm open to this idea of investments in Haiti, but at the same time, I think it should have some structure. Like, you shouldn't just be able to go there and just ransack the place and run wild. Not saying that everybody's going to do that, but I think there should be rules of engagement. Or, as other countries have done, they create special economic zones specifically for those purposes and integrate those things into different parts of their own country. Like the United States has trade hubs, especially when they deal with Mexico, obviously in Texas and California. But you also use it to help bolster your own economy. So areas that are hardest hit economic, some of the jobs that have something to do with this other place that you're investing in, there to spread the economic wealth, essentially. I think it's an excellent way for us to rebalance the way that we've been handling our imports and exports. and something to think about. Great place to grow raw materials, and we get up the finished products in the Bahamas.
Yeah. Some interesting text messages here. Again, it's people are very mixed on what's being discussed. Somebody says here, sensible people will not invest in Haiti because when they get mad, I guess the people down there, I think they're saying, they will kill you or burn down the place. Millions of investors in the world. Why only blame Bahamians? What? Who's blaming Bahamians? What do you mean? But folks are saying that there are opportunities there. Opportunities for Bahamians to expand their businesses by looking to the south. That's all that was being suggested. Okay, anyway. This text here, boy. I'm going to read it. I'm just going to read it. I don't know who they mean or what they're talking about. Why do you keep entertaining the bottom of the barrel thinking person of our society? Who are they talking about, folks? Yes, when you ask who are these people, they are the Bahamians that are our families, neighbors, and friends. Just as we say the thoughts and feelings of Americans. When Trump got elected, we are seeing it now in our own society. Okay, well.
I think it's Trump, don't you think?
The what?
I think that predates Trump, those comments, don't you think?
The type of thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he just, helped to bring it out more.
I think Trump just was like...
He was like the salt, bringing out the flavor.
I think he brought out flavor. I think it was always there. It's like oregano, right? And just be like, oh, this goes well with this. We're ready to say it. But anyway, whatever.
But it's scary. They're saying there's more of that type of thinking here now. Okay. This person says, you guys do realize that you are talking about solving another country's problems and not our own. We shouldn't waste time on this Haitian issue. We need to get back to Bahamian business. All right, but Seattle made some great points, right? The market is tiny. Companies are dying because there's not enough customers here to support them, to support what they want to do. And that potentially, if we expand to other markets, this is what others have been doing to the Bahamas for decades, right? American companies, British companies, Canadian companies are here, right? You think anyone told them, what are you wasting time in the Bahamas for? Like, you got to grow. You got to find a way to grow. And if we are going to be stuck with our 400,000 people, we will be limited forever. And there are opportunities out there. That's all. Well, I'll say this way. And you might be able to solve you might be able to put a dent in the illegal migration issue too. Potentially.
People with the money and the resources to invest on a scale similar to or growing to be like our previous caller. I don't think they really care about the Bahamian sentiment and opinion because it's their money and they can do whatever the hell they want to do with it. If people want to invest, then fair enough. I don't understand why we always trying to police other people's money. It's just we're just raising the point that it could be a viable solution to some of our problems. On a good way for people to make some money. On a good way to help the people of Haiti and an attempt, like you said, to make somewhat of a dent in the immigration problem. I don't think it's going to solve the problem of 12 million people, but it can help somebody.
Yeah, potentially. All right. Let's take this call and we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dawn. Very interesting conversation this morning. Love, in fact, even the previous caller to Seattle made one or two very poignant points I think that needs to be considered. First and foremost, has anyone done an analysis? Even though we understand and can agree that there is an underground system here, we have seen that the focus of this conversation is on the Haitian diaspora. Is there an analysis done by the amounts of monies made by Haitian nationals in this country? How much of it goes out of the country? How much stays into the country? How much do they invest in the country in terms of proper housing and so on and so forth? I think once we have an analysis and can understand from that aspect, perhaps we can put in context exactly what it is that's going on in the country as it refers to the Haitian nationals, whether they're here legal or illegal. What contribution are they making to the country? Right now, as it stands, in closing, to go to a Western Union or whatever, no one is saying that you cannot do what you want with your money. But they send most of the money, most of the persons on these lines happen to be a lot of persons who are not, typically Bahamian, as we would put it. However, when you look at the amount of money that's going out the country, you're wondering whether we are actually building another country from the resources of this country. We understand that our financial resources in Haiti is valued way more than what the Haitian dollar or whatever it is they use over there. And that's why they come here to make the money sent back. How is it that we have not heard our government really express to us what kind of economic or financial impact that as we are as Bahamians in this country to help us build this country? I think
So what do you think? You think they should be allowed to bring their family over so that they don't have to keep sending the money back? Would that be better?
Well, the thing is, Dwight, regardless of whether we believe that they should bring their families over or not, that is a phenomenon that's happening even right now. The thing is, like I said, a lot of Bahamians are concerned that we are financially strapped in this country, but yet when you go in front of these places, we see monies flying out of the country. Not saying that Bahamians not doing it either. I mean, to the U.S. and Canada and so on and so forth.
You have made Jeff Bezos. What? Yeah, right. So, yeah, the money is flowing all out of this country from everyone.
I'm just hoping, in closing, that some way, somehow, the financial analysts really need to come forward and really tell us what is this country really making? How much money is really flowing out of this country? How is it impacting our GDP and our productivity here? And why is it that the minimum wage, every time you talk about a livable wage, there seems to be resistance to minimum wage? Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much.
But we know why there's resistance from private enterprises, even the hotels. When the Prime Minister did the whole thing about the Bahamas will eventually move towards a livable wage, right? Especially the government sector. The reasons why is because it increases the cost of doing business. And I'm not taking a side here, but that's literally what private interests are saying. That there's a massive gap in between the minimum wage and the living wage. That is true. And I don't think that's going to be shrinking anytime soon. But this kind of ties back into value chains and supply chains. The Bahamas imports almost everything at the end of the product cycle. We don't import raw materials to make things, to make finished products, and then export them for our own consumption. We import the end product. So we spend the maximum amount of money on those things. And we've essentially made our entire economy based on that. From tourism to the importation of food, cars, electrical devices, everything, because we don't produce anything. I'm not disagreeing with his points necessarily. I'm just saying would be interesting to see the numbers of how much money outflows out of the country in remittances via Western Union or any of these other businesses that allow people to move money back and forth. But it's something I think we need to consider too is how larger nations, and I hate to use European nations as examples, but they have made their North African former colonies in some instances, terrible example to use, but they've made a lot of them a part of their supply and value chains. So they import a lot of goods from North Africa, or in the case of Switzerland, who based their entire chocolate industry at one point in time predominantly on imports of cocoa from Ghana. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you're just what they've been doing is sending money out for the purpose of giving them access to raw materials to create the finished products, which produces the maximum amount of money in an economy, which is why Swiss chocolate, for instance, is so highly revered, or the fact that most of the semiconductors in the world are made in Taiwan. But by the time you get your little iPhone or your Samsung, whatever device, you pay the maximum price for it. But the cost of bill of materials is a fraction of that. I think for Apple, it's about 65% of that is just profit margin. And the actual cost to produce one of those phones is under $100. But that's a whole other conversation altogether. But I'm just saying you have to look at it in terms of that. Now, I also share in the concerns about the government situation and the stability of the place, which is why I kept going on about that special economic zone. And that's pretty much how China has operated. And I'm not saying we should follow that example, but there are bits and pieces of things that have been done around the world that I think we can use ourselves in order to fix our situation. You don't always have to look at it as if we are going to someone else's country and helping them build their country. It's kind of like this is solving our problem in terms of food security. We get to import essentially the raw materials instead of the end product, and we make the end product within the Bahamas, and then we get into the business of exporting. I'm just saying it's a win-win situation, but it also requires some strict things to be in place in terms of rule of law and governance, which then again goes back to the very, very precarious political situation going on in Haiti, or has been going on in Haiti for north of 2 centuries. Yeah. So it depends on, I don't know how we approach that section of it.
All right. Let's take a break. When I think, at this point, okay, so we're going to break. We're going to go to the news headlines. When we come back, it'll be Morning Blend Business. We'll get an update from Tropical Gyros, their crowdfunding initiative with Arawak X. Where do things stand? Have you invested in it yet? Do you know about it? What do you need to know? We'll tell you all about that when we get back. This is Morning Blend on a Tuesday morning. Stay tuned. More opportunities coming up after the break.
Hit it! Yes!
I never was with the gambling hype, never was a casino type, never had such a wicked vice, never cared to roll the dice. But when I saw that beaver stick, something making me wanna cool on it.
Know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit Caribbean.
Join Journey Rewards for free, and every purchase is another chance to win big monthly prizes like a cruise for 2, plane tickets, free fuel, and so much more. Just scan, win, repeat. Fuel up or grab a snack or a drink at any Esso service station. Then scan the QR code to enter your purchase information. That's it. The more you enter, the more you can win. And win again. Journey Rewards. Scan, win, repeat. Free to join and easy to enter. Start by an Esso service station and start winning today. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. And this morning we are getting an update on Tropical Gyros and their crowdfunding initiative with Arawak X, getting an update on where things stand. Joining us, we're very pleased to welcome back to the show, Chef Kevin Culmer. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us as always.
Morning. Good. Thank you, Dwight, and thank you, Bahamas. It's great to be here.
Okay, so we know the deadline is approaching. Is that right?
That's correct. We have about 44 days left before the race closes.
Okay, so we're going to find out from you where things stand, and just back for those who might not be familiar with this, I don't know where they've been, but so I want you to tell us a little about Tropical Gyros, and then why you decided to go the crowdfunding route.
Okay, well, Tropical Gyros, we've been around since 2015. We've had the brick and mortar location on Rosetta Street since 2017 March. And we've been in operation for 5 years. We recognize that we have been able to generate some good buzz with our product around the community and also internationally with people from around the world that have tried our product. So we're looking to expand the business through locations in New Providence and the Bahamas through franchising and take it international. But in order to do that, there's some things we needed to do, and being able to do it properly, we need good capital funding, and it's difficult, as you are probably are quite aware, Dwight, to access traditional funding through the financial institution. So coming to a platform like Arawak X, coming to the crowd, using crowdfunding as a way to determine not only your viability of your business, because as people, you really can see how good your business becomes when people say, you know what, hey, let me invest in this. And so to see the response that we're getting from the public right now shows me that we're actually on the right path. So we're hopeful that we can reach the minimum. We're about 95% there for the minimum raise. And so we're just going to keep going, moving forward, and execute this plan.
Okay, so remind us what the minimum raise was.
The minimum raise was $320,000, and one of our goals is first and foremost to get a production distribution center in order to be able to service the multiple locations to ensure consistency of product across the board. So all our seasonings, sauces, and dressings and everything will be made there to ensure, we're setting up like a real franchise, like any international franchise. That is the goal, to put Tropical Gyros on the South. We have a long way to go before we reach the status of those international franchises, but we feel that, with every journey begins with one step, and so this is the step forward to go. Right. So 320 is our minimum raise. We're looking at a maximum raise of $850,000. And we're actually, like I said, 95% there to 320. I think as of yesterday, we had received pledges of about $304,000.
Oh, man, you're going to get there. You say, what, 44 days left?
Yeah, 44 days left. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's sounding really good. All right, so let's talk about it, though. You said it's difficult in the traditional routes to raise the capital. Did you try? What were you told? What did you experience?
I looked at I went to some of the banks, and how should I put this kindly? Because you still have to deal with banks on a daily basis, right? But they're just not. I guess they didn't feel secure in lending money to restaurants. I think restaurants, restaurants traditionally have a poor success rate. I think 9 out of 10 restaurants usually fail. So I guess for them, the analysis, the risk management of being, hopeful that we can be in the 1% was maybe too much for them. But, sometimes it's a little difficult, on our end when we look at that and we see that we're getting turned away. Like, I'll give you a prime example. I went to one bank. They had loaned me money to purchase a car. And then I went back to the bank to purchase a food truck. But and I bought the food truck there, showed them the business plan, showed them the results and the revenue stream we would generate from the food truck, but it was turned down. So I'm like, well, y'all will lend money to buy a car to drive around, but wouldn't lend money to buy a food truck to make money. So I just didn't understand that. But, I guess that's why I'm ashamed.
My goodness, yeah, that's perplexing, eh? But there are some risks with crowd funding in this way, because you do have to meet that minimum, and if you don't,
right, you don't get a dollar.
Anything, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So let's talk about that. That's a brave choice to make.
Well, yes, I think so. I think it is a brave choice, but sometimes when when you see the vision, like I've seen what tropical gyros can do. I know what we're capable of doing. We tried an expansion in 2019, and then we got hit with COVID in the beginning of 2020, March 2020, which basically wiped out the expansion effort we made downtown. And I didn't have enough reserve capital to fall back on in order to keep that viable until the economy picked back up. So moving forward with the new expansion, I said the only way that we're going to do this is if we're fully capitalized, so that we have reserves, we have the operating capital. We're not so that if something does happen, we can weather the storm more effectively. And so yes, it is a risk, because if we don't hit the minimum, we don't get $1, and so everybody gets their money back from our WAC-X. So it was a risk, but all entrepreneurs are risk takers, and if you don't, I always believe in the statement that nothing ventured, nothing gained. And so I said, well, let me put myself out there. Let me see what the crowd says about my business, because if we achieve the minimum, then the crowd is validating what it is that we're doing, validating our product, validating the vision and the mandate of what we're trying to move forward. So maybe then hopefully that might attract other investors who might be more, we say, you know what, well, look, the crowd is behind this guy. The crowd believes in him. So maybe I should step up and let's take this over the threshold. So I think from that perspective, it gives me an opportunity and all those that utilize this platform to at least try to realize their dreams.
Yeah. All right. So we notice you're the fourth company, I believe, to use the platform.
Correct.
And you've been very aggressive, more aggressive than the others. We hear ads running.
Yes.
You're making many more appearances. Let's talk about that tactic, how that's working, the response you're getting from people. You're definitely keeping this in the mind of folks and not forgetting that this is available.
Right.
Let's talk about it, the strategy.
Okay. Well, I think one of the things that our WAC-X and the beauty of partnering with with them is that they sat back and analyzed what was successful in the raise with Red Lobster and what wasn't successful with the other two companies that came to the crowd. And so I think they did an analysis and felt that it was important, because this is a new entity for Bahamians, right? Investment is not something that we really talk about. We're starting to get more fluent with that. But, investment is sort of, a lot of people don't really think about it. The normal person who goes day to day and working doesn't really understand sometimes the concept of investment. So they felt that, moving forward with the next company, and I happen to be the next company, that they would then push as much marketing into the community as possible to bring awareness to what crowdfunding does and how it can be beneficial not only to the investor, but to the company that's trying to raise the funds. And then letting people understand that WAC-X acts as a referee to ensure the protection of both parties. Okay, because I think that's important, because a lot of times, I don't know the people that are investing in that have pledged investments into tropical gyros, right? But WAC-X has all the information, so WAC-X will ensure that the company, am very transparent and very accountable in what needs to be done in the marketplace, so that people know what's going on and be able to assist the investor in ensuring that we are doing what we're doing with their money to protect it. So I think that's important, to come out and reach people, to let people know exactly what's going on, because it's something new to the Bahamas, and I think that the more than Red Lobster, who was, in the process. I think there was an article in The Guardian this morning, as a matter of fact, about, their plans. And,
right.
The more that I get out there and talk about what's happening, because every time I get on air and speak, I always get phone calls afterwards. And people are calling and talking to me about it. And I get to answer questions. And that's one of the joys about it, actually getting to speak to people and answer questions and let people know exactly what it is we're doing on a more intimate level.
What type of questions are they asking?
Well, one of the first things they want to know is how will they get a return on their investment, which is a very important question. Okay, and so like I say to everybody, as a publicly as a company that has public investors, we're not a publicly traded company because we're not trading daily on the stock market, but we're still a public company because we've now brought the public into the fold as investors. What we will do is every quarter, the accountants will analyze the profit from the revenue and expenses and determine what dividend is to be paid out per shareholders. And the philosophy that we have come up with is that we will take 50% of our earnings, of our profit, and divide it amongst our shareholders. And we keep 50% as retained earnings in order to keep the business moving forward. It's imperative, like I speak to people on an intimate level, not to drain the company completely of its profit, because then the company can't grow. We have to be right back to square one again. So, and they seem to understand it. So I say, so everything is based on profit. And so one of the things that they want to know, well, how do I get paid on my dividends and what that happens? And so our plan is, like most companies, to pay out dividends every quarter based on our profitability.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned a little bit before, but detail how this money is going to be invested, what you're hoping to do, and a timeline if you can.
Good, no problem.
What you want to do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing we want to do, timeline, the minute the raise closes and we've achieved the minimum raise, of course, and whatever we receive, we are going to start building out the production distribution center. I've already scouted 3 different locations. We're trying to determine which one is the most feasible from an accessible point of view, not only for goods to come in there, but for us to be able to operate and get stuff out. And then we're looking to, so once that's in the process, then we're looking to then start build out on a location on Carmichael Road. So it is our hope. Okay, and this is all predicated, of course, on how quickly we can motivate our contractors, but to be open with the 3rd location by Christmas.
Wow.
Okay. The 2nd location by Christmas, sorry.
Christmas.
This Christmas of 2022. I'm not waiting a year. I'm not waiting 6-8 months. We're going to jump on this right away. I've already sourced all the equipment needed for the production distribution center and for the 2nd location, and just waiting. I already have all the quotes and the figures, and because all of that was included in my business plan that we have on the website. And so all it is a matter of being able to write the check to get the stuff shipped over here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's some big plans.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Like I said, the thing that had prevented it was just having the full capitalization in order to get it done without having to struggle. And in the climate now, the world climate with respect to COVID and hurricanes and now monkeypox and all the things that are going, and recession, a possible recession, we want to put Tropical Gyros in a position to be able to withstand any sort of global calamity that might come across.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let me ask you this: what's the difference? What will you not be able to do by only meeting the minimum versus the maximum that you wanted?
It will slow down the full expansion process. So the maximum raise would allow us to open up 3 locations in New Providence. Okay, we're looking at Carmichael, Cable Beach, and out east in the eastern area. With the minimum raise, we would then focus on the production distribution, Carmichael Road, and more than likely a food truck to allow us then to maybe, from a mobile perspective, put our presence in the western area at times, and then maybe the eastern area at times, but not necessarily a full brick and mortar, which would come with more operating costs and what have you. So the plan would be at this point with the minimum to do the production distribution center, a location on Carmichael Road, and the food truck, and then allow the company to have some operating capital.
All right. Let me ask you this. This is just curiosity here. Mm-hmm. So there are a couple other formerly food truck operations that seem to be going brick and mortar, which seems to be going against what we've been hearing are the trends.
Right.
What are you seeing that the rest of us aren't seeing?
Well, with regard to the food truck?
Yeah, as opposed, right? Because food trucks seem to be possibly the way to go. You keep your expenses down.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why
brick and mortar now?
Well, it's difficult. One of the things with the food trucks is you have to be able to navigate or be able to negotiate a land space in order to keep it parked, right? I think that's the number one difficulty, because there isn't a space designated per se from the government to allow food trucks to operate, right? So every time, that's why sometimes you see people moving around, because you have to find landowners who are willing to allow you to come, and then sometimes the landowners want to charge you rent just as much as they would if you had a brick and mortar, because one of the things that you see happening and you hear in the business community is that when people start to see your business start to flourish, they start to increase your rent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so those things are happening. Now, I do have an idea, but I don't want to share it on air because I don't want to give it away yet. But there is something that I am working on with regards to food trucks that may be able to, and then I'm going to be speaking. Once I get mine, then I'm going to speak to a couple other persons that I know that have a nice food truck.
I hope my next question is not your idea.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so do we need like a food truck park? Is that
okay? Well, let me put it like this. A few years ago, Dwight, when I was trying to get my first food truck, and when I was still actually on an outdoor location, I really came up with a concept of having a food truck park. Okay, right. I'll be honest with you. And so what I saw, and I still think it can happen if I bring my food truck in and we have these nice food trucks, is you have about 5 or 6 different food trucks, all with different food.
Yeah.
Nobody having the same food, so it's almost like an outdoor food court.
Amazing.
Okay? And you even have a beverage truck, and then everybody works in, and we create a seating area. And not only does it give Bahamians another outlet, it also gives tourists another outlet to come and look at food trucks, right? Because they'll have 5 affairs. We have how should I put it? There's not a lot of diversity with how Bahamian food is being done in certain areas.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is that when you go to certain places that there are many different types of it's basically almost the same type of food. Your luck of the draw just depends on the ability to be able to connect with taxi drivers and tour companies to bring them to your location. But similarly, if you offer people an opportunity that they can come to 5 different places, you can come to one place and have 5 different food trucks, all offering a variety of cuisine, it becomes more attractive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
I already have the spot located. I already have the spot that are designed for. So hopefully I can reach out with some of my other compatriots that are involved in this business. And once we're successful and I bring the food truck in, I think that's one of the things that I'm going to look at trying to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it was not exactly food group wise, the name escaping me, but they were at the Dundas for a while.
Yes, I know. Tinfoil.
Tinfoil, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes,
they tried that. Yes. And it was going well. And then I think they moved to Gladstone Road to Fields.
Yes.
Yes. I know the principal that was involved in that, young man, very, very ambitious. Very, trying to bring something different. Yeah, and so I think that collaborating with some people and some like-minded individuals, I think it can still happen on a larger scale.
Definitely. All right, so people have questions, and we have some calls coming in and some text messages as well. Call us. We are talking with Chef Kevin Culmer with Tropical Gyros. We'll talk about the food in a bit. But if you have any questions about investing in the company, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Is that caller still there? Caller, good morning.
Hello.
Are you there?
Hello,
hi. Hi, good morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hi.
Yeah, morning, man. I love gyros. But my first question is it the traditional Greek-style gyro?
No, sir.
Different one.
No, sir. Nothing Greek about it. You have to try a tropical gyro. We have a Bahamian Caribbean flair. We do jerk chicken, jerk pork, a 3 cheeseburger gyro, a grilled veggie gyro, a sweet fire shrimp gyro, a coconut curry lamb gyro, lemon chicken gyro, cracked lobster gyro, barbecue salmon, cracked conch. So it's a lot. It's totally different. There's no Greek flavor whatsoever. There's no and the Greeks have their gyro, so we're totally different. We're not trying to emulate what they did. We're just trying to create more of a Bahamian Caribbean flair.
Okay, my second question is the location. I have a difficulty finding the location in up with Palm Daily.
Well, yeah, we're on Rosetta Street. If you come right to Rosetta Street, right as you hit Marquis Street, we're right on the right-hand side. So right at the intersection of Rosetta and Marquis Street, you can find us in the little plaza.
Okay, my final question. My final question is that delivery, because I think I called there before to see if I could have had something delivered to my home, and I think y'all only deliver to
businesses. Yes.
Businesses.
Yes, but you can use delivery through the Craven app. Craven delivers to residences and home and businesses, and our delivery shuts off at 3, and their delivery I think grows all night. So, at the present time, you can access the delivery portal through Craven and get it delivered to your home.
Okay, my final question is: I hear you speaking about joining to the ROX program.
Yes.
For the business, what type of shares are you offering? Preferred shares or ordinary shares?
These are ordinary shares at $9 a share, minimum investment of $36 for 4 shares. So these are ordinary shares.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
All right.
And that's pretty affordable.
Yes, it is.
Affordable there. $36. A whole lot of people who could never have even thought about owning shares.
Well, Dwight, what I tell people too is that, if you like our product and you eat our product, if you become an investor and a shareholder, every time you eat our product, you're actually putting some money back in your pocket. Because you will increase the revenue, which will then lower the expenses, will then increase the dividend payments of all shareholders. So, unlike if you go to any of the other franchises or the international franchises, you just spend out your money and you don't get anything in return but food in your stomach. This way, you get a double. You get to have your cake and eat it too. You get to have a slice of the gyro and own it as well.
Right, exactly. All right, so we've got a text asking something similar to what the caller was asking. So, how exactly do you do it? If you are interested,
okay,
what do you need to do?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to go to arawakx.com. And once you hit onto arawakx.com, you then hit the Tropical Gyros logo there, and it'll take you right to our page. And there's a button that says Invest. But before you hit that button, I implore you to read everything about what we're doing, about our history, our financials, and our projections moving forward, so you can have an idea of what to look for, what to expect with regards to dividend payments, because we operate on a 78 to 80% of revenue, so we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 22% gross profit margin. All right, and so therefore you'll be able to see what we project to do, what we've done, for the 5 years that we've been in operation at Rosetta Street, what we project to do with each location, and where we see ourselves in 5 years.
Okay, let's talk about that. Where do you see Tropical Gyros in 5 years?
Well, I'll tell you, Dwight. Our goal in 5 years would be to first and foremost have locations throughout the Bahamas, in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and then we also within 5 years see ourselves internationally. I had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday who is a Bahamian now living in Orlando that is very interested in opening up 4 locations in Orlando.
Oh, wow.
Right, so we have started the initial discussions on that, so it seems to be catching on. So we are looking at it. We are looking and hopeful that within 5 years we have an international presence. So we see this brand becoming global. We see it, a Bahamian food brand becoming global with multiple units, and it's always nice to see, when I lived in the U.S. and in Canada, I would always see Jamaican restaurants all over the place, and Chinese restaurants and Indian restaurants and Greek, and I always say, how come we don't have a lot of Bahamian restaurants? And then someone sent me something from a restaurant that's opened up in Canada called Old Nassau. I love it. It's beautiful. The whole works. And that's great. And so now what we're going to do, hopefully with Tropical Gyros as the brand, is take multiple units throughout the U.S. and Canada and the world.
Yeah. All right. So tell us more about the expansion. You're here in Nassau. You're trying to franchise entirely, or will you still be at the helm for these locations? How are you doing it?
The idea for us is that I don't want to own all these restaurants as a company. Okay, I prefer the franchise model, and so that we can focus. Our focus can be more not necessarily on the day-to-day operations of all these different units, but more so on product quality and marketing of the brand. I think that is important. And thirdly, it gives Bahamians an opportunity to become entrepreneurs and owners of the economy more so than just investors. Okay, so not only become investors, but you can also own and become a franchisee. We see ourselves as a company owning maybe 2 more locations, and then all of the other locations we would offer as franchises.
Okay, all right. That is very exciting. Again, folks, if you have any questions for Chef Kevin Culmer, give us a call, 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You mentioned the delivery options there, and folks calling. Give us some numbers. Folks want to call in for lunch today, apparently. Sure.
Okay, no problem. Well, you can call in at 601-5752. And a lot of times it's difficult. So here's my telephone number. You can always WhatsApp or call me, 565-1076. You can call me with any questions you may have, or you can call and WhatsApp to place an order, and I will ensure that the staff gets the order. Okay?
Oh boy, you're going to overwhelm yourself.
That's okay. I mean, that's what I do. Dwight, this is, for me, Tropical Gyros it's a labor of love for me. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. I thoroughly enjoy interaction. I thoroughly enjoy creating a product that people enjoy. And, it warms my heart when people tell me, Chef, I really enjoy your food. It's really, really good. Yesterday we had a taxi driver. We had closed. We closed at 6, and the taxi driver came in at 6:15 and said, "Look, I brought some guests, some tourists who wanted to try your product." So I still had a couple staff members there, so we actually put something together for them, and they ate it and they said, "Wow, that's really, really good." And so, something like that makes everything for me worthwhile. So, to me, it's not a burden to get a phone call or to get or to people to call and ask me questions or to place orders. It's what I do. I've been in the food business now, and with Tropical Gyros being my first ownership in the economy, it really, I love what I do.
Yeah, we can hear it. Got some more calls. Let's take this one here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Oh, okay. Call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Here's another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, morning. You say you're located?
Morning, on Rosetta and Mackey Street. Right on the, there's a plaza right opposite Palmdale Furniture on Rosetta Street. They have a barber shop there, Cameron Clean Cuts, Feeney Clothing Store. So we're right next to Cameron's, right on the corner of Rosetta and Mackey Street. You can't miss us, and you'll see our signs at Tropical Gyros.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We got a lot of text messages. These sound like ads for Tropical Gyros. This person says here, I love Tropical Gyros. I'm addicted to their salads. This person says here, I love Tropical Gyros. The chicken salad is my favorite. The dressings are divine. Quality service, quality products. They are consistent. I wish they would start taking credit cards, though. Uh-oh.
It's coming. We're just waiting now on the Wi-Fi. I have to call them today from Bank of the Bahamas. We're supposed to be getting the Wi-Fi machine so that it can go. Instead of connecting to the router, they were waiting for some to come in. So we should be up and running before the end of the week. But we do accept credit cards through the Mobile Assist app.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so if they download that, they can just load up their digital wallet and just scan and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Will you guys be accepting the sand dollar as a form of payment?
We haven't yet, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to inoculate that into our revenue stream as an ability to currency acceptance. Yeah. But we haven't yet.
All right, so that's coming too. All right, wonderful. This other text here, I commend your guest. His knowledge, ambition, and passion about his business is clear. I have not tried the gyros yet, but I'm definitely going to, and I may even invest.
Well, thank you.
His continued success.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Wonderful stuff there. There's something that somebody's messaged. Okay, so salads, trends that you're noticing with food in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Are we developing new tastes? What are you seeing with Bahamian and cuisine?
I'll tell you what I see. I've seen a big move towards salads. Our jerk.
Oh.
Okay, it's our number 2 seller. There's
What's number one? What's number
the
one?
jerk chicken gyro. That's the most popular. Bahamas, we love chicken. And there's no getting around that. We love chicken, and I think it's up to us as chefs and culinary artists within the country to create different ways for our public to enjoy chicken, because it is a staple of our diet. And so I've seen also a lot of move towards the vegetarian. Our veggie gyro and veggie salad, grilled veggie salad, seems to be catching on as well. And there's a lot of chefs now coming up with good vegan opportunities, vegan creations. I love that. I love to see the creative space and the creativity being exemplified by our chefs. We have some awesome talent in this country, Dwight. Awesome culinary talent, and I think a lot of times people take it for granted the greatness, I like to say, of a lot of our chefs in this country.
Yeah. With the veggie stuff, is it vegetables or plant-based meats?
No. I'm not into I didn't get into the plant-based meats. I'm just using strictly vegetables. My grilled veggies are, I use the eggplant, the yellow squash zucchini, the green zucchini, mushrooms, peppers, onions. I use that and in my veg. And I grill. I marinate them in a lemon vinaigrette that we make, and we grill them.
Yeah, well, that's probably better for you anyway. Yeah. All right, so we talked about this last time. Your sauces are legendary, and everybody freaks out over those. We talked about it last time about whether you would ever market them individually, but you gave some good reasons why you wouldn't. But let's talk about the sauces.
Okay.
And why they're so special.
Well, boy, I guess. People say, you put your foot in something, but I wouldn't say that. I created the sauces to accentuate the seasoning that I use on my meat, right? And all the ingredients that we put in the salads and the gyros. And so I wanted to create a sauce that I felt that would pick up and enhance the flavors that we have in our gyros. And people have just fallen in love with them. We do plan to offer the sauces and dressings on a singular usage level, not in bulk to be sold like in gallons. Although I do have people who sometimes have cookouts that want to get some of the barbecue sauce, and for that I don't mind doing that. But I don't want the sauces to become so generic that you can go to any restaurant and find them. Okay, I think it's important that we keep that tropical gyros because of what makes tropical gyros unique. Anybody can. We have a lot of people doing jerk chicken in different ways, and so it's easy to make a jerk chicken gyro. People have tried it, but what they didn't recognize was that the seasoning and the sauces all work together to make the final product, and so therefore their imitation of it didn't come across. It wasn't well received. So I don't want to put them out there in large where people can say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? We can buy tropical gyro sauce in bulk and then go and use it in our own restaurant." Right. So I want to, we will sell it to people to use in their homes, and that I don't have an issue doing, and we plan to get to that, but I need to do it properly. So at the production distribution center, we would then, have the proper packaging and bottling to make sure that we're keeping with all the standards necessary.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk a little more about the production distribution center there and the opportunities that may come out of this, employment opportunities.
Oh, yes.
How many people are you looking to employ there? How big and busy will this get?
Well, the hope is for it to get really, really busy, because it would have to support. And I figure we're looking at about anywhere from 7 to 10 locations within the Bahamas, okay? And so... that would require us to have a complementary staff of about 10 to 12 people at the production distribution center. The expansion, the location on Carmichael Road will probably be about 20 persons employed. So we're looking within the next 6 months to employ possibly another 25 to 30 people. And then as we move forward and grow, the employment opportunities will increase. The other thing is that once we hit the U.S., it may be more advantageous for us to open up a production distribution center there in order to ensure easier access to the sauces and dressings to the units that we're going to be putting in the U.S.
Yeah. So again, how many people do you think you might be employing there? Or how many?
Well, at the production center, it's going to be. We'll start off with about 6, and then as we grow locations, we will add more people because we're going to need. I need people to mix because all of our inventory is going to be coming there. And so the inventory will be sent out to all the locations from that unit. So we would need delivery drivers to be able to, access. You don't have one driver trying to get to 2 locations. So, we would have about 2 people, utilizing the vans that we're going to purchase to get the product from the distribution center to the units, to the locations. So we're looking
Is there a plan for your transportation needs for the business? Is there a plan for you to buy electric vehicles?
Yes. We are looking at electric vehicles. I know the place on Gladstone Road. They have some nice vans because I know that one of the companies that I've utilized in the past, Discount Distributors uses them. And speaking to the principal there, he has told me that they're very effective.
Easy Car Sales, they're listening. They're actually listening. They're messaging.
Well, that's good because we're coming to see them. We will be coming to see them. Yes, without a doubt.
That is wonderful. Great plans there. Okay, so remind us about all of the details people need to know about investing.
Okay.
Time is running out.
All right.
How long they have, what the deadlines are, how much it'll take to invest.
Okay, so what we're looking at is you go to arwacx.com and click on the Tropical Jarrows logo, and that'll take you through to our investment page. Our shares are $9 a share. Minimum investment of 4 shares, so that's $36. Okay, that's it. Now you can buy any multiples of shares after 4 as you would like. We encourage you to buy as much as your pocket can afford. And if you believe in the product, if you believe in the vision, I say jump on board and help us take this to the global market. We have about 45 days left. We're closing, I think, September 7th is the close date. So jump on board now and let's get this done.
Yeah. This is very exciting. And you say you're already about 90% there?
95 to the minimum.
95%.
Yes. Yeah, 304.4 thousand we've raised in pledges so far. As of yesterday, 3:00.
All right. Already people are asking on the text line, I want to invest. Please bring a location to the Western area.
We're coming.
Yeah. Would you consider a fully funded location or model for Grand Bahama as a model for real-time modeling or franchise once you get started? That somebody in Grand Bahama wants
Yes,
to
we
do.
will.
Yeah. Already, how can I apply to be a delivery driver? I have 5+ years experience. Yeah.
Send your resume to Tropical Jarrows Bahamas at gmail.com. So that's Bahamas@gmail.com.
So now I have to ask, when you expand, and let's say that you do manage to break into the South Florida area.
Yes.
How will that change are you going to put out a new call for investors, or those shares expected to go up in value? What do you think is going to happen in that circumstance?
Well, the expansion in South Florida will be through franchisable opportunities. So it will not require a large capital investment on the actual company itself. I should
have rephrased that. I was meaning in the sense that because the company will be making more money, right? The profit margins will leap, right? Assuming you're able to expand the way that you're speaking about it,
right?
Do you expect, like, for your percentage-wise, I think you said you're operating on somewhere around 22% profit.
Yes.
Do you expect that to jump somewhere to around 30 or 40%? And what do you think impact that'll have on dividends?
Well, it'll have a positive impact on dividends. I don't think we'll hit 30, 40% because it's hard to hit that in a restaurant. I will be honest, right? I think, the gross profit margin for most restaurants are running anywhere from like 20 to 26% max. I mean, those that are hitting 30, 35%, my hat's off to them. But my product, because I want to keep it affordable, I will sacrifice a little bit on the profit margin just to keep it more affordable, to keep it accessible to the general public. But yes, our profits would increase and dividends would increase with franchisable opportunities because we'd be having a completely new revenue stream. All right, where the franchisees will be paying royalties to the company, and that, of course, increases the revenue for the corporate company.
Do you think it'll be a situation where, like, for example, I don't like to call names, but one of the most successful McDonald's.
Right.
McDonald's has which majority of their income comes from essentially being a landlord because they own a lot of property, as
Right.
well as the fact that they do franchising.
Right.
So I wanted to know, do you plan on splitting the company? For instance, you'll have Tropical Gyros in Nassau, but a separate entity that will be operating for your franchises in the States.
That is correct. That is the business model that my business advisors have suggested we do. But all of those specific criteria will be guided by the board of directors that we're going to put in place. You know, I have a little bit of business knowledge, but I'm not a full expert. And so it's important that we align ourselves with persons in that community that can drive that component for us. But that has been the recommendation in discussions, in informal discussions, that we do a split separation to similar follow the McDonald's method, because let's face it, they were the ones that set the market for franchising. Okay, and so we have a lot of companies to look at within the Bahamas. I wanted to follow within the Bahamas, you know, and that's always been my passion for the company to go and build out and get the leases and set it up, and then the franchise operator pays a percentage of their revenues in order to operate from that location. So that is something that we're looking at, and the board of directors, in their wisdom, are going to be able to guide us on that process.
Okay. All right. We've got about a minute left, Chef Kevin Culmer. Again, your final word to potential investors out there or people who've already invested their money. What do you say to them?
Well, I would say to everybody, those who haven't invested, remember, every time you eat a gyro, you're putting money in your pocket if you invest. Okay? For those that have invested, trust that I'm going to work very hard and diligent to ensure that we protect your investment and move this company forward to hit the global market.
Okay. Very exciting. Again, the website to invest, arawakx.com.
That's correct.
And the deadline is September
7th.
Yep. And we want to get you well past your minimum.
Yes.
So, folks, get cracking. Get cracking. Only $36 to invest in this great opportunity there. And we're wishing you all the best, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me this morning, and thank you, Bahamas.
All right. We're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend of Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too. By the look in your eyes.
Ball teams up today for the Michael Scooter Reed Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic. August 1st through the 7th at the Hope Center. Get ready for the pastors versus politicians, along with the Phil Lightburn Slam Dunk Contest. Then an Energy 3-point shootout, along with all championship games, live in living color at the Kendall G. Eliza Gymnasium, Sunday, August 7th, beginning at 5 p.m. That's the Michael Scooter Reed Peace on the Street Basketball Classic. For more information, contact 601-4842.
Know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Hello? Keisha, you something else, boy. Who this is? Tamika? You ain't even remember my name? Wow, Dread.
Girl, I've been so busy. You still planning your trip?
Girl, and I can't wait. I right here online booking my car.
You dare planning trip? You vaccinated?
Girl, we had to. We ain't been nowhere since this pandemic started. Girl, and we got a 14-day vacation.
Best vacation ever.
Girl, are you though?
Well, I know you was gonna get the vaccine because you too like travel. When y'all get your vaccine?
Girl, long time. Because you gotta get your first dose, wait, then get your second dose at least 2 hours. Johnny get his vaccine and he 12. Even Grammy get hers. Child, and Grammy say she ain't get no money. but I see you hiding that under the mattress.
Child, let me send my list, because I know you going shopping.
Keisha, don't play with me.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and US Aid.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. By the beginning of September, digital wallet holders and businesses will be able to transfer sand dollars in and out of their commercial bank accounts. That's according to Central Bank Governor John Roll. His comments coming as the central bank begins its campaign to ramp up greater adoption of its sand dollar digital currency to the wider Bahamian public. The central bank has been working toward the integration of its digital currency platform with the real-time gross settlement system and automated clearinghouse system for some time, realizing that they will be a major catalyst toward greater adoption of the system. You can read more about it and what he's saying, Governor John Roll, in today's Guardian Business section. Raising doubts that the Davis administration will follow through with the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort and the subsequent reconstruction of the Grand Bahama International Airport. Opposition leader Michael Pintard says that there has been nothing but hype and showmanship with respect to plans for that island. Pintard and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper have been in forth over what Pintard called a lack of significant progress in the reconstruction and redevelopment of GBIA in the past 10 months. Cooper, on the other hand, has criticized the opposition for being a part of the Mintz administration's cabinet and that failed to deliver, the opposition leader for failing to be a part of delivering a new airport following its destruction by Hurricane Dorian in 2019. BE Luxury Real Estate is predicting a luxury property price increase between 10 and 20% as the Bahamas and Caribbean real estate markets continue to boom. That's according to a statement from the company. The principals of the company recently closing their largest sale yet by moving a $6.3 million property near Albany. The company says that the first half of 2022 has been successful for the company, which is only 2 years old, but more successes are predicted. And Pinnacle Franchise Brands plans to open Red Lobster Bahamas in the first quarter of next year. That's according to the company's semi-annual progress report to shareholders, which added that the company plans to simultaneously open a location in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Shareholders expected Red Lobster Bahamas to be developed this year, but Pinnacle cited in its report that delays in material procurement forced the company to push the opening to early next year. The report explains that Pinnacle executives met with Red Lobster International in April to review the Bahamas' menu. A statement saying that they took the opportunity while there to take some local items like conch and fish to test in the kitchen, and that this opportunity gave management and the International Culinary Development Team time to create a unique taste and flavor profile for the local offerings on the Red Lobster menu. And we're told that to the Bahamas and the Caribbean market. The details in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Walmart lowering its profit outlook for the second quarter and the full year, saying rising prices on food and gas are forcing shoppers to cut back on discretionary items, particularly clothing that carry higher profit margins. That behavior is forcing the U.S.'s largest retailer, based in Bentonville, Arkansas, to step up discounts on general merchandise items like home furnishings and electronics to save or to move inventory. Walmart's shares fell nearly 10% in after-hours trading on Monday. Walmart's move to lower its profit outlook in the middle of the quarter is rare and raised worries about how inflation, the highest in 40 years, is affecting the entire consumer sector. The stocks of major retailers, including Target, Macy's, and Kohl's, fell following Walmart's Monday announcement. Several big consumer companies like Amazon, McDonald's, and Procter & Gamble are set to report their quarterly earnings this week. The warning follows reports by Walmart, Target, and other retailers in May that a faster than expected shopper shift away from items that were popular in the height of the pandemic, like casual clothing and home goods, left them with inventory that they need to further discount. And from Germany, Lufthansa says it will have to cancel almost all flights at its main Frankfurt and Munich hubs on Wednesday because of a strike by its German ground staff, affecting tens of thousands of passengers in the latest travel turmoil to hit Europe. The airline saying today that the strike will force the cancellation of 678 flights at Frankfurt, 32 of them on Tuesday and the rest on Wednesday. It's also canceling 345 on Tuesday. Lufthansa saying that 92,000 passengers will be affected by the Frankfurt cancellations and 42,000 by the Munich disruption. It said those affected will be contacted today and rebooked on alternative flights where possible, but warned that the capacities available for this are very limited. The company said the strike may lead to individual flight cancellations or delays even on Thursday and Friday. The union announced the one-day strike on Monday as it seeks to raise pressure on Lufthansa in negotiations on pay for about 20,000 employees of logistical, technical, and cargo subsidiaries of the airline. That walkout is coming at a time when airports in Germany and across Europe already are seeing disruption and long lines for security checks because of staff shortages and soaring travel demand. That's your Morning Blend Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And it's time for a final look at weather for this morning. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for New Providence and Andros. And that's been in effect since just after 8 o'clock, and that'll be in effect until 10:10. It may be extended as we are in the middle of a thunderstorm. Right now, as of this morning, the Department of Meteorology reporting that their lightning detector, radar, and satellite imagery depicting moderate to heavy showers with embedded thunderstorms associated with a moist and unstable air mass moving northwestwards towards New Providence and Andros. Thunderstorms will be strong to severe at times, as they have been all morning, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding is also possible. During the passage of these storms, boaters are being advised to seek safe harbor, and residents in the warning areas should stay indoors and away from windows at this time. Again, that's in effect until 10:10 this morning, but it may be extended. That thunderstorm warning in effect for New Providence and Andros. And that is going to do it for us today for Morning Blend Business and Morning Blend. I want to thank Don Sargent for being here today. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green, coming up next.
It's regatta time again with $1 and the Rollville Development Association in Exuma for the 78th Rollville Regatta and Homecoming. All roads lead to Exuma, July the 28th through August 1st for $1 giveaways all weekend. Get ready for live performances, gospel night, battle of the DJs, boat sailing, mixology competition, and so much more. The Bahamian Digital Dollar. Use $1 at the Regatta site to avoid having to worry about cash. Check out www.sandollar.bs for more information about the digital dollar.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
Join Journey Rewards for free, and every purchase is another chance to win big monthly prizes like a cruise for two, plane tickets, free fuel, and so much more. Just scan, win, repeat. Fuel up or grab a snack or a drink at any Esso service station. Then scan the QR code to enter your purchase information. That's it. The more you enter, the more you can win. And win, and win again. Journey Rewards. Scan, win, repeat. Free to join and easy to enter. Stop by an Esso service station and start winning today. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.